The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
And you thought we was going away. Nah, it's Speak Out.
But let me just reverse a bit and say good morning to the listeners of Vibes. Welcome to the program.
If I stay within my setting as a public officer, as the public relations officer, and I stay just within the office space and do not go out to the public, how will we understand what is happening on the ground?
Still delivering.
We've done a lot, not just in terms of the general infrastructure, but homes, support to farmers, support to fishermen, etc. And as time goes by, more support will be given to Carriacou and Petit Matney.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered. Built back, even better to last.
Let us all strive to build a better country by putting aside our petty grievances and move forward with dignity, being proud of working hard and working together.
Anything that we're doing now, it's futuristic thinking. It's not for the now.
Education is the key in a country's development. That's it. If its people are not developed,
Even don't go that far, no? Just remember, knowledge is power. When you know, you know.
that's it.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered.
We're happy to have you.
On Vibes 101.3 and 106.3 FM every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Do you feel the vibes? Going.
And just want to say good morning again to you right here on Vibes FM. Welcome to the program Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday. We're looking at the 5th day of June. Good morning. To those of you locking it down inside the trial and state of Carriacou, Petit Matney and Grenada, good morning. We want to say good morning to our listeners inside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well. You are always welcome and always listening as well, our audience. On mainland Grenada, good morning to you. And those of you on the in the diaspora, those of you on the internet and on Facebook as well. We also have a lot of listeners there on YouTube. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today's going to be an exciting program as always, interactive, informative, and entertaining as well. So all you got to do is just stay tuned and you're going to be enjoying the program. And whenever we open up the lines for you to do so, for you to call, you can do so. And our telephone numbers, 443-0101, 443-0101, and you can also call 403-0101, and our next number 458-1958, 458-1914 rather, 458-1914. Well, those of you on Facebook, you'll notice that we have a crew in front of us, and I'm calling them a crew this morning because it's very interesting what they will be discussing with you as it pertains to our youth parliament. Yeah, that's a talk that's been taking place in our trial and state lately. And you have a lot of people who are interested. It's very important to be involved in government, as you very well know. So this morning, the chat will be all around them, what they intend to do. And I'm going to start off and say good morning, first of all, to the youth officer Miss Gloria Fortune. Good morning to you. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Mills. I am blessed.
Okay, great. Okay, okay. Just want to make sure that we have you already seated and ready to go. Okay, you are the youth officer, right? Okay, in the
Yes.
Trial Estate. Okay,
Yes.
or not in Trial Estate, but in Carriacou in particular.
Yes.
And you also have your colleagues right with you, Casey Boswin. Let me say good morning to you. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning to you, Mr. Mills. And how are you doing this morning?
Not bad at all. Everything fine?
For the moment.
Look
For
at
the
that smile.
moment.
I'm getting smiles already. See that?
Of course, of course.
Dexter Charles. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mills.
It's nice to having you guys here. I feel excited,
Likewise.
when I heard about the youth parliament and what's going to be taking place and things like that, it's good to have our youngsters, involved because we sometimes neglect what's happening in government and we don't even know it's even been run in many instances, right? But you are making the effort now to get yourself involved in that. So I'm going to start off with you, Miss Fortune. Tell me a little bit about this youth parliament and, what it's all about.
Okay, good morning to you, Mr. Mills, once again, and good morning to the listeners of Vibes 101.3. I'm Gloria Fortune. I'm a youth officer attached to the Division of Youth Carriacou and PT Martinique. And my responsibility here today is to give support to the candidates that we have upcoming for the National Youth Parliament and also to share with the wider public information more on the youth parliament, the process that would come in the weeks ahead. Okay, so we have the National Youth Parliament. As we know, Youth Parliament has been an ongoing program for years, but this time around it's more a deeper involvement because we realize a lot of our young persons are going into the political atmosphere and we want to give them a deeper insight into what it's really about, the processes, the policies that guides the parliament and all that, so that when they get there they would be prepared, they would be ready to take our country forward and to be effective leaders, not just leaders, but leaders that could produce because they understand the systems and how the systems work. So this is the reason for our involving our young people at a deeper level, because we want to hear their voices. We want them to advocate for change as well before they get there, because we know sometimes change might take 10 years. So you may start as a youth parliamentarian and one day you become a minister, but there is different steps and processes that would take you there. So when you're there, you know that you could really push that mandate of change and transformation. So we have 14 seats, Carriacou is 15. The Grenada already went through the process and occupied the 14 seats. So this seat is Carriacou and PT Martinique, and we have 5 persons vying for that seat. They would go through the nomination process. The nomination would be announced as we go along. You would get that in the coming weeks. The nomination will be announced by our Acting Governor General, Her Excellency Charis Bristol. And also we have a site, because the voting would be online. There is a website that is created for this process because we want to make it as real as possible and we want to ensure that the voters get insight into who the candidates are, what their missions are, the process of voting. So the site is cpmyouthvote.com. That's the website for voting. And the voting age is 16 to 35 years old. You can use your national ID, you can use your NIS card to vote. For the persons in school, you can register with NIS at 16. Once you're 16, you can go to NIS, you can register, and when you go to the site and sign up, you would get a code, and we from the youth department would verify that code. So that's the process for registration. Also, we want to encourage our young persons to be a part of this process. If you're between the age of 16 to 35, being a part of your country's democracy is very important. You mightn't just wake up one day and feel, well, you could go into politics. You never know where you would end up, even as a person voting. One day you might end up in the process. You might work within the parliament. You might work within the government. So it's important as young persons to voice your opinion, advocate for change through. This is one of the processes that the government has provided for young persons to advocate, to vote. You know, you have a youth parliamentarian well established, and we know going forward that this would be the voice of the young persons. And we already have other countries like St. Lucia. I saw an article recently. They're looking at us and they're admiring this process, and they're even thinking about, you know, mimicking what we are doing. So we know that we are doing something good on behalf of our young persons, but we don't just want it to be limited to the 5 persons that is going up for that one seat, but we want our young persons in the wider public to be involved, to get to know the policies of your country, get to know the policies of parliament, the procedures. So even when you look on, you can know, okay, this went well, this is not right. You know, you could understand, knowledge is power and knowledge is wisdom. And when you have that, you're less ignorant, you are more involved, and there would be other programs as the parliament is officially formed after Carriacou has been voted in. There would be sit-ins, youth parliament sit-ins throughout the year. So you would hear more about it. There will be more involvement, but we just want our young persons to have that open mind. It's not a political thing. It's something that we are trying to create leaders, not when you get older, but we're trying to create leaders from your youth. So as you grow in wisdom and stature. So it's not anything to do with political. It mimics the political atmosphere, but that's just to show you that, okay, that this is the process, this is what happens. And we live in a democratic society. Political atmosphere is part of what makes up our society. So it's okay to be involved. It's okay to know what is happening. It's okay to advocate. So we from the youth department, this is what we want to share. This is what we want our young people to be on that journey with us as we do programs to enhance their lives and to make them better leaders and productive citizens in society. So that is our main mission, Mr. Mills, as we go through this process.
Oh, that's very nice. And as a matter of fact, what you said a lot there to make us know exactly what the program is all about, Yeah. And it's interesting that we have 5 candidates. But before we go further, I want to apologize because we have one of the candidates right next to me. And sometimes you understand that I don't want to see behind my back. and so I want you to introduce him. Tell us exactly who he is. The microphone is yours. His name.
Well, we have Mr. Ricardo James.
Mr. Ricardo James.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Ricardo James. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Mills. I will say you forget me, in all fairness, but good morning, Mr. Mills. Good morning to the people that are listening via Facebook, and good morning to my contestants, and good morning to the officer within youths. Good morning to all. I'm Ricardo James. People may know me as MC Ghost on Facebook and social media, and I'm well known in Carriacou. Ain't it, Brother Mills? I think so.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I often forget your real name because MC Ghost has been a household name.
Yes. That's a name we've been selling out in the dance, bro.
Yeah.
All over the place,
Yeah, but it's very nice to know that you're involved,
Yeah, man.
And you want to be part of the process as well, too. And I want to encourage all young people to get involved because it's so important. This is something that's new, to us now, because we're growing up, we always think that politicians and people involved in government have to be at a certain age. We associate age with this kind of with governance,
Yeah.
And I think we've been, misled to that extent.
I believe so.
So now that we have a youth parliament and we have young parliamentarians, that are getting involved in the process, is very important. Now, I'm going to start with you because you're already on the microphone there. Tell me what made you so interested in being part of the process?
Well, Mr. Mills, the reason why I decided to be a part of the youth parliament, parliamentarian, is because of how I struggled when I was more younger, and not only that, due to the experiences I gained during the 2022 election, being a part of the National Democratic Congress, and developing that experience give me that encouragement, give me that determination to want to excel for higher heights and to get other young people who may have similar experience like me at younger age, to give them that encouragement to make them see that we have potential as young people. With the right set of people around us, we can be able to excel beyond measures. So this is one of the biggest reason why I pick up the mantle of running as a youth parliamentarian candidate. And I believe once I'm elected for Karakou youth parliamentarian representative for Karakou Petimotnik, I know for a fact that I will be able to do great jobs.
Well, thank you so much, there. I expect that, and as you mentioned, back in 2022, you've been involved and trying to get yourself into government to a certain extent, making the president feel by voting, and being part of the process. And again, I want to reiterate, that this is something that young people sometimes, well, must register, So, now that you're making the effort, we want to commend you on that,
Thank you,
and the rest of the
brother.
candidates. And I know you'll be in competition with 5 of you guys?
Yeah, 5 of us. So we have Casey Mills, we have Dexter Charles, we have Anthony Gay, we have Emily Benjamin, and you have myself, Ricardo Pierce.
Right, okay. I'm going to ask you to just pause for the cause. Let me bring in Casey Boswin.
No problem.
Good morning to you. How are you doing? All right. You listen to Ricardo.
Of course, I did. Good morning again, Mr. Mills,
Yeah.
and to the beautiful people of Karakou, Petimotnik, and Grenada, by extension, all the listening public. It's always a privilege to get this kind of opportunity. I must say that. And being a young person myself, growing up, I had a passion, a drive to do something more for our Karakou and PT Martinicans. Having that passion and drive to continuously be there, not standing on my own, because I always say it's no man is an island and we cannot do it by ourselves. Us together as youths, we can do it together. Our dreams, our passions, our voice matters. And no matter what people tell you, do not listen to them if they say you cannot achieve greater things. Always put your mind to it. Once it's something constructive, I see, you can do it. And I believe in us. I believe in our future. And I say it again. That's why my slogan for the campaign is together we rise, together we thrive, hand in hand, rooted with pride. And this message is very close to my heart. And with I call them my colleagues. We are all friends here, Mr. Mills. We are all friends. So this is a friendly, it's not about bashing anybody. We are all friends in this. We are in this together. We would support each other. We rally with each other because it's all about togetherness. We would rise together, just as how we went through burial together. We faced the challenges. I would stand with them. I would stand for them. I will fight with them, not against them, Mr. Mills. And we can do this together for our youth.
I feel like the campaign starting. You realize that, Mr. Charles? Yeah, you didn't realize you campaigning already.
I will call it a powerful introduction.
It's nice though that we could all just sit down and talk and chat.
Of course,
because there's a purpose and there's a reason for it all, But Mr. Charles, let me get to you now. Tell me,
Okay.
what driving you into this thing?
Okay. Well, firstly, good morning to everyone sitting down here, my fellow colleagues, you, Mr. Kimney King.
Yeah.
All the listeners from Karakou and PT Martinique, and by extension Grenada, and especially good morning to the youths we're speaking to. Mainly, my name is Dexter Charles from Seaview, Karakou. When it comes to the youth parliament, I remember about a year ago seeing youth parliament and saying, that is not my style, the whole the whole youth parliament thing. I don't believe in that. And then I sat down and I think about the youth in Carriacou and the potential we have and the potential that Carriacou itself has. And the youth may just need a guide, somebody to lead and guide. And I may not be the best person for that, but I do understand a lot of the challenges. And we, out of the youths, we can come and work together. And I plan, regardless of youth parliament, to work along with a lot of youths to uplift ourselves, because I believe all of us can make it. Every youth can make it. And I realize I have a passion for the youth. So I say, might as well put pen to paper and give myself the challenge to be a youth parliamentarian and to ensure that all the youths in Carriacou can make it one way or the other, no matter where you come from, but they have links, it doesn't matter. And that is my motivation to be a youth parliamentarian. That's why my logo name, my motto is lead the change, be the change. Once you could lead for the change, you can be the change. And my logo is a sailing boat. So basically me, I live next to the sea as well. I have a passion for the ocean. But we can, let me captain you to new waters, uncharted waters. We can all be on the boat. We're all in the same boat, right? So let us lead. Let me lead you to a brighter future, more innovative kind of Carriacou. So that's a little.
But it's so interesting, I tell you, to listen to you guys speaking, at this young age, and to see the passion and the drive and the enthusiasm that you have in you to go forward and to be part of change, to be part of the process. I mean, this is basically, as far as I know, is unusual. Miss Fortune, how did you guys get them involved and get them so, into this process?
Well, it's a lot of, to work with young persons, you have to meet them on the half, and we are in the communities, we are dialoguing with them, we are involving them in programs that we are doing, we are, just talking to them, being on the grounds, and some persons you have to push them a little, but yes, just keeping that connection between the division and the young persons in the community.
Yeah, well, it's important that, and as you just mentioned that, because I know, from my experience, sometimes, I have a hard time sometimes trying to get the younger ones to go to register to vote and be part of the process. So
yes, because you see, our young persons does not understand. You see, if you understand the process of something, you would be less ignorant towards it. So if the young persons are involved in the democracy, the government aspect of the island, they would see the need to want to be a part of something. And you don't have to beg them. They would know, okay, when I meet 18, this is my right to go and register, to voice my opinion for my country, for what I want to see as a young person. Because you cannot say, okay, oh, they're not doing this or they're not doing that, but you are silent and you're not being a part of the process. So to effect change, you have to be a part of the process. You have to be involved. You have to see it as, this is my future too. I am living here. Whether you travel, you have to come back and retire. So what community are you building to be comfortable to say, okay, I can sit at 60 years old and feel that, yes, I have been involved. This is part of what I did, and I can relax and I could know, okay, they are productive, effective young leaders that would lead with empathy and, have that spirit. So this is what we want from our young persons. We don't just want us to talk and say, oh, young people, we want you to be involved. We want you to, as we tell them when we go out to the field, you're free to come into the youth department. If there is any program you would like to see as a young person, you could come to us, you could let us know, you could give us the idea, because we may plan for you. We try as much to involve our young persons in the planning of our program. So when we go out there, we ask them, what program would you like to see? What do you think that your department needs to do? Where can we gap whatever the slack is? So we ask them that when we go to the field, we talk to them. We try to make them be involved and not just saying, okay, I'm going to sit in the office and plan a program and you should come to it. We ask them, what do you want? We try to involve them, and the office is free. They can walk in anytime and voice their opinion, because this is part of advocacy. We go out there, you come to us, we come to you. You know, you meet us on the half, we meet each other on the half. So it's all about bridging the gap between our young persons and the government, the youth division, because in 10 years we want to see productive, effective leaders. We want to see persons that is contributing positively to the society. We want a society that is violent free. We don't want our young people going to prison. We don't want our young persons involved in, vigorous crimes, and, don't feel safe to walk the street. We don't want that. So we are trying our best to make them be part of that change, to use their voice and advocate for what they would want to see Karaku and Peter Marnik to be.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Now, Mr. James, let me get to you.
Yeah.
When you mentioned, I know, to your colleagues that you're interested in being a candidate for the for youth parliament, what was the response you was getting? What kind of response you got?
Well, I mean, my comrades on the other side, some of my comrades, they was very much surprised when I decided to take part in the youth debate in Karaku before we come to the election stage.
Yeah.
They were surprised, but they was impressed, and they give me some serious words of encouragement to make sure that I go out there and make them proud. And with meeting youths in the public, the youths in the public, who already know me, they say, well, they usually call me MC Ghost, but I was use my full name. And they say, well, Ricardo, well, you have it in the bag. When I was going up for the debate. And I think the response was very much exciting for a lot of people, because, a lot of people was cheering me up, and they was encouraging me to go out there and do great. And this is what I intend to do in this stage.
Yeah, okay, well, that's very nice. Ms. Boswin, though, let me get to you on one thing there. You realize now that our current government has quite a number of young, and when I say young, I mean, the usual older folks, involved, right? Correct. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of them, I think, still under 30 that are right now in government, Did that have anything to do with your decision in going forward, trying to, be a part of the process, make a presence, felt?
Actually, to a certain extent, it is an inspiration to look at our government and see that young people can be a part and make an impactful change. So it played an aspect in one way or the other. But my passion more stemmed for interacting with the young people within my community, walking about and hearing their stories and having real conversations with them and hearing their thoughts. Because even when I went up for youth parliament, people weren't surprised. Who knew me? They were like, I knew you would have done that because of the type of person that I am. Sometimes I like to work behind the scenes instead of making, sometimes you don't want too much of attention, but seeing that you can still make an impactful change by being there, direct, being the voice, because some people shy away from that. And if there are people who are afraid to speak up, who are scared to be the voice, being that I am one of the individuals who have a voice, who can actually speak for them, I can work on their behalf. So that in itself, speaking with these young people, showed me a different level that I need to step up. I cannot just stay quiet and work behind the scenes. I need to show up for them because it's not about me. It's our journey together. So that really pushed me forward.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Mr. Charles, I'm going to get to you now because I know I've not been hearing much about you. As a matter of fact, when you came into the studio this morning, I had to ask who you were, because, but I know your colleagues are used to you being around there, and there is any motivation, anything particular you've been involved in any in any organization before, anything to do with youths, giving you this drive to seek this position now?
When it comes to organizations, I would say YAC, Youth Emergency Action Committee.
Okay.
Part of that program where we is basically one of the more structured youth groups on the island, which teach you a lot of public speaking, of course, training when it comes to natural disasters and first aid and hiking and conservation, and that's tend to be within my role. I do work for the Smart Agricultural Enterprise Program as well. So it did put me out to talk to a lot of people when we're doing like family disaster plans on the yak, or we're going out with farmers and making them sign up for the program. It kind of got me to be a bit more, or doing workshops. That got me to be more of a public speaker, I would say. Usually, as I said earlier, these kinds of things is not really my kind of thing, I rather work behind the scenes, as my colleague would have said. But a lot of friends and people that are around me encourage me a lot, and I say I have a lot of good ideas. You see things in a different perspective, and I say, you're young. Why not? If you're young, you have a passion within an area, you want to see development, you want to see people empowered. So, as I'd like to say it, if I could have been somebody who was more in their shell, and through my passions and through work and volunteering and all these other brought me out, then why not use that newfound, part of you to enact that change? Because there's probably plenty of other youths who have grandiose ideas and dreams and ambitions, but it's for them to get out on that big stage, for you to talk in front of that crowd, for you to put yourself in that spot. Like, they may not want to do that. So I would like to be a beacon to people like that, young people like that you can make it. If I could do it, you could do it.
So it's like, you've been involved and you interacting with them, it's going to drive them forward to be a little bit
to be the change, to be like me in your own way.
Right.
In your own way. You could be like me in your own way. It's not scary. It's not something big and grandiose. We're getting up in age. Eventually we'd have to take the mantle. So if we're going to take the mantle, start now. Don't wait until you're 30 or 40. Start now.
Right now,
I think in college, I used to always tell my friends this: be the person you want to be now. If you want to be somebody, say if you want to be a PS or whatever, move like a PS now.
Right.
If you want to be a politician, move like a politician now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Be the person you want to be now. So when you reach that, when you cross that bridge, you kind of figured it out somewhere along the lines.
Right. Yeah. That what you're saying there, is very interesting, and I could see that in you too, because you seem to be involved already in different organizations here and there, and it makes be that kind of person who would like to interact, get your ideas across, and I could see you as a parliamentarian too. Jacket and tie.
I've done that.
But what on the campaign side, Ms. Boatswain, how the campaign been going on? Because I know you guys have launched that already, right?
Yes. So far, I must say, the campaign, you have to strategize carefully when you're doing this. And I have started off my campaign, creating my manifesto, and it's not my manifesto, it's our manifesto, because I'm focusing, as I said before, togetherness. I'm focusing on improving youth empowerment, advocating for our youths to create different programs. That's another pillar, where skills and job opportunities, having apprenticeship programs that can upskill our young people. Because first and foremost, even CVET, that's for vocational and educational training, we need to focus on our skills. It's not just about, having a degree. There are a lot of things that our young people are passionate about. And even speaking with them, when we went to the school yesterday, they spoke on that. And I said, well, I have that in our manifesto, because that's a key area that I'm looking forward to building for our young people. Sometimes jobs ask us for 5 years of experience. Where would you get that 5 years experience? If we have different business people who can take us on for apprenticeship programs, mentorship, leadership, that can help drive us to become more passionate about the area. Even some young people tell me that they're not even sure what they're going to do when they're finished with school. And that's a cause for concern because now the young people don't see the opportunities there. So now we need to drive them and build those opportunities for them. Another pillar within my manifesto is recreational development, more activities on island to build our young people, having the playgrounds and other activities that could really create that recreational aspect, the events to get us motivated, get us having collaborative efforts with our communities and really, drive home that part. And the last pillar I focus on is mental health. This is a plague in our community, and mental health is very important, Mr. Mills. You have to be conscious about that aspect because that can affect everything, your overall well-being, your emotions, and mental health truly matters. And I must put that out there because our young people are facing so many different things, and sometimes you just want to listen in air. So I would like to create safe spaces for our young people that they can come, air their voices, and say what's on their mind. Because even I would like to even speak to the parents because it starts from home. It starts from our home. You need to listen to your children, encourage them, make them feel loved, speak with them one-on-one, to create that kind of bond. It's simple. How are you doing? How was your day? How's everything going in school? Who is your friends? Trying to get more involved in your children's life. Because at the end of the day, that's how they would feel comfortable to come to you and confide in you as a parent, to show them, okay, well, mom, dad, this is going on. Even your other family members, you need to build that trust. And mental health is all involved in that. And it's plaguing the children, as I said, it's plaguing our young people right now more than ever. And they need a safe space to rely on people in the community, not just being a confidant. And you could actually see the need for counselors, having that environment that will be conducive to our mental health so that we can all be at peace. We don't want trouble in our society. We want to stay away from deviant behaviors. We want to stay on the right path as the young people growing up in society. And that's how when we start early, we would have a better society. And that's pretty much what, in a nutshell, comprises within our manifesto for the young people, that building of togetherness right there.
As you just spoke about togetherness, and I want to refer to you, Mr. James,
Yes.
You with the other colleagues, how things been going with you guys? You guys seem to be, normally in campaigns, everybody bashing against one another. But the group seem to be unified. You get that feeling when you speak it to everybody?
Yes. This group that we have, even though if it's a competition, we respect each other, and we understand that even though we are campaigning against each other, we still could create a form of unity, a form of cohesion, and keep that tied in. Because at the end of the day, Brother Mills, after the competition, we still are brothers and sisters, we still are Grenadians. So we want to protect and keep our morals and make sure that the youths who is watching us, they're not seeing a fight. They're not seeing the back and forth and then, just all the talk, but then no action. We don't want the youth who is listening to us to look at us in that form. Brother Mills, can I go on?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So I would just like to tackle a little bit on what I'm campaigning on, because I'm campaigning on three sectors. We have education, we have employment, and we have housing. So, but still, when I speak about education, because I've struggled roughly in my tender age with education. This was a big problem for me at a young age, suffered with education, because you have families who is low-income families. So sometimes they work with a budget of maybe $1,200. They have to, and especially single parents, so they may have to work with a budget of $1,200 per month. And then they might have other bills to pay, and they might have so much other stuff on their agenda. And then they have to send, sometimes they have 2 children, 3 children to send to school. That $1,200, Brother Mills, cannot even help them to send their child in school so that the child could be able to obtain a successful education. So this is something that needs to change, and I will work along with the Minister for Education and the MP for Caricom, Peter Mortnick, to bring in meaningful changes and bring in some programs that could at least assist low-income families to change that situation. With employment also, Brother Mills, because children, our young people will go through the education system. They will finish their education. And after they finish their education, some of them come out with 5, 10 subjects, 12 subjects. They go through the TAM CC, and then they might go through a university. They get top-notch qualification. Now they are looking for jobs, and there is no employment for them with that level of qualification. So now they are sitting at home wondering what to do, waiting an opportunity. So that's what I'm saying, that when we invest in education, we have to also invest in job creation. We need to create meaningful jobs that will be able to give our qualifiers that job and they will be able to get the rightful payment for that qualification that they obtain. And also housing. Our youths on the island of Carriacou are not only youths, even adults too, but I will speak mostly to the youths. Our youths on the island of Carriacou is facing dramatically situation when it comes to housing, because sometimes youths grow up with their family members. So when they grow up with their family members, they stay with the family and due to the secondary schooling, then they go on to the universities and etc. And after they finish all of that, now they start working, because we talk about education, we talk about employment. Now they start working. They might want to own a land on their own. They might want to build a house on their own. And then the sad situation that we have in Grenada, Caricom, Petit Martinique, is that finding land is a very tough situation on the island. Building a house, and if it's your family member owned, you need permission from them. Sometimes they don't want you to build a home on the property. So you have to just sit there in that home with your family for years upon years before you can able to own your own. So this is the 3 sectors that I'm going to look deeply in, and I'm going to be speaking once I'm elected. I'm going to be speaking with the Minister for Housing. I'm going to be speaking with the Minister for Education, and we're going to look at these key sectors to make sure that we bring in new reforms and bring in some new legislative amendments and make some drastic changes in the House of Parliament.
Do you have a logo yet?
Yes, and my logo is the eagle, and the eagle fly high above.
So interesting, so interesting, that we have, logos and things like that, And as you mentioned, Mr. Fortune, there's an age limit for voting, for the voting process, right?
Yes, it's 16 to 35. And also I wanted to mention that registration is now open from the 4th of June to the 17th of July. That's the registration period to go out and get registered. And I would give the website again, cpmyouthvote.com. And remember, for those 18, you can use your national ID card. For the person that is 16, you can go into NIS and register. You can register in NIS at 16 years old.
But you must be registered in order to participate.
Yes,
right?
you must be registered to participate and be between the ages of 16 to 35.
So is the process going to be checking on the age to make sure that you're
Yes, because when you go into the site, I think you have to upload
information.
Yeah, the information, and I think the picture ID.
Right.
So if you are a kayak with your NIS card or your national ID, that is a youth, and you may be out of the island, you can still vote.
Okay.
If you're out of the island within that time period, you can vote because it's online.
Okay, and the process is 1 vote per person, right?
Yes, so.
Okay, so you can vote for more than one.
Yeah.
We sometimes think when you go online we could cheat,
No, it's properly done and set up, so you would get the experience of voting online. And who knows, in the future, even out of the youth parliament, we may be voting, we might have that opportunity one day to vote online.
Yeah.
Like the Americans do. So it could be a nice experience. You get to experience it now once you're within that age range. So one day you would may have that option to vote online. So we are encouraging our young persons, the schools, out of the schools. Please be part of that process. Please, you can go onto the site. The site has the candidates. There is information. You can see who they are. You can check out the Ministry of Caracol and Peter Martinic Affairs Facebook page. There is information there on your candidates, and also well, I'm not sure if everybody name on Facebook, but I guess they would be doing their own individual campaigning and reels and putting information out there. So before we end this interview, maybe everybody can state what's their name on Facebook so persons can add you and get a deeper insight into what you're about as you go along. Maybe follow you into the communities as you go out there and advocate for your seat.
Right.
And we are looking for young persons to really vote. Come out and vote. We want it to be a wide margin of persons registering to vote, and that would also show your interest in democracy and your interest in the youth, having that voice in society, because we always talk about young persons having a voice. But as a young person, this is part of your opportunity to have that voice. And even the older persons that may not be able to vote, we encourage you to encourage your candidates. You can, bless them with wisdom, as we would say. We're not casting you aside. You are there. You may have more wisdom than them. If you meet them on the street or if they're in the community, you can speak a word of encouragement to them. If you look at the videos and you see areas that they can improve, you can talk to them about it, be that support system, and also encourage your children that is 16 and your family members to register to vote and to be part of the process, so that everybody have their responsibilities. So the older one responsibility is to support and advocate for young persons to have a proper place within our political or democracy. So we all have our part to play. And if we want to see a society change, we want to see transformation, we want to see, sometimes what we sit on the sidelines and complain about, we all can be part of that change. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're giving advice, whether you're praying, whether you see young persons out there, talk to them. You see young persons in the community, there is groups and different things, encourage them to be part of groups, like what we had the opportunities growing up. Encourage them to be part of the church groups, the community groups, things within the community that can make them change, because we expect young persons to be at a certain level, but we are the ones that are older. We are there to support and to advocate. It's okay if you see something, to talk to a young person, to speak encouragement over them, to speak encouragement to them, to empower them, to push them a little, because we all a part of the society and we can't do this alone. It's not just about the young persons. We often speak negative about the young persons, but we need the older folks, the persons that is more mature, to really be that support, that cushion for our young persons in guiding them day to day, whether they're in school or not. If you see something, you can pull them aside and talk to them, because that's what we are there for as persons in the community. Let's go back to the days where the community is raising the child. If you see something that concern you, speak about it, find out where you can report stuff, talk to the parents, talk to the teachers, talk to the us as youth officers. If you as an older person think, okay, I think the youth department should stay in that direction, give us your advice, talk to us, send in your pass. We welcome persons of all ages. Once it's changed, once it would make our young persons better, it is welcome, Mr. Mills. So, yes.
Let me go back to you, Mr. Charles. How is the campaign going? How is it going? The response you're getting on the ground when you go, to tell your fellow, that you are vying for that parliament to be parliamentarian. Yeah.
Well, I would say most people are quite surprised. But once I tell them about my plans and manifesto, They're
Yeah.
they change like, oh, well, yeah, say that fine, I'm making sense. All right. They're like, okay, I see where you're running now, you know. And so it's been good to interact with the young people and hear their voices and see what type of level they're on, and to even give them advice. Sometimes I find myself giving them more advice than actually campaigning into certain aspects of it. So it's going good, although it's to balance it with your work and professional life as well has been a bit difficult. But
what sort of methods are you using to reach out to your colleagues?
mainly social media and underground. I tend to be underground a lot given the job I do, so I tend to meet up young people along the way, and it's been quite positive, I would say. And even to go back, if you allow me to speak on a previous point earlier, when he's talking about how we seem to be quite close, you know, like friends and whatnot. I always had the mentality that if you have a dream, it doesn't matter whether you yourself was able to fulfill that dream. If you somebody else like Miss Boswell or Sir James, if they have a similar dream, you'd support them regardless of your might be competing, because at the end of the day you want to see the result of that dream flourish. So I think that's another reason why we incorporate quite well. And one of the good reasons, I would say when it comes to my manifesto, I'd say when it's coming to talking to the youths about their issues, the main one that's given a lot of traction is my plan to create a youth hub when it comes to young youths, professionals who have ambitions. It could be just you have an ambition, a dream, or a goal within a certain area, whether you practice in it and you may want to certify yourself or get it in education, or you want to connect with similar youths or find job applications. This is a hub, a connective hub that gives not only guidance but at least opportunities when it comes to maybe jobs or certifications or scholarships and whatnot. So you allow the youths, gives them a channel of guidance. So all you need is the dream,
right?
All you need is the passion, and once you want to take that forward, you have that hub. You have that hub. Maybe you may not have the scholarships available, but there are people within that industry that can guide you. I mean, and I believe that is a very innovative way. You got to use technology. We're youths. You got to use technology in change. And especially how you commend us in these positions, I would like to promote youth governance and leadership to encourage more youths in governance, in leadership, because at the end of the day, I sit down in my job and I see a lot of old people. And when I say who's to take over from them, I see nobody. There's a big gap, and then there's me. There's like 30 years difference, and then there's me. And I'm like, and I look around like, what other youths are there to take their mantle when they retire? What is going to go on? Are Grenadians going to have to come up here and take these positions? So let's start now. Let's fill that vacuum, fill that gap to where young people who have that dream, who have ambitions, to at least have some kind of mentor role or internship to let them get a feel for that, so they could work towards it. Because unfortunately, a lot of youths, they say, Carriacou, I don't work. It's full of opportunities. We just had to work together. And thirdly, when it comes to I work for a program that gives grants to farmers and fishers. And one of the things I've observed the most is that if, especially you're in farming and fishing, you don't have to rely on government. You can come and work together, form NGOs. You could make small programs. Not everything is about government. So I love to encourage youths when it comes to writing up proposals and forming NGOs and groups to where you can get grant funding. There's a lot of free money out there that's there to be accessed. And I know some of the older generations, a lot of these groups fall apart, but it's we, the youth now, is to take that mantle, to work together. Same way me and my colleagues are working together here, despite we're in competition for a shared goal. The rest of the youths can do that as well and form these groups and organizations. And you can create your own projects. You can benefit yourself. I want to encourage youth to not only be the change for the future, but to be independent within that change, So that is my main focus, to not just lift the youth, but to make them self-sufficient, So it doesn't matter what's your background, where you're from, wherever you lean, which side of the spectrum you lead onto, you always have a chance to make it. So nobody's left behind. So that is my standpoint on this.
Now,
Mr. Mills,
yeah.
before you go ahead, can I interject here?
Yeah.
You see, just listening to everyone speak, it just shows the similarities in our position. It shows we have like minds and similar interests, and that we care for the youth of Carriacou and PT Martinique, and we're going to push that forward. So regardless of the outcome, we're going to work together, Mr. Mills. And it just shows a clear example to the people out there who is looking at us, that you can be, as my good friend here said, you can be in competition with each other, but still maintain that intact and work together. You don't have to bash each other. And that goes out to the different political organizations, that you can still unify and work together for the good of the country. It's not about you, it's about the people who you're serving. And that's take a page from our book, and look at us, look at the example that we are trying to set and emulate that. You can be constructive in your criticism to have improvement, because there's always room for that. But always have one thing in mind, and that is the people who you're serving. It's service for the people. And I just like to get that out there.
Yeah,
let me also add, Brother Mills.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
As I would like to reiterate what I said earlier, and this is a unity campaign. In my view, this is a unity campaign, because at the end of the day, if we want to change youth's perspective about life, we cannot be bantering and fighting and bashing each other. We have to come forth with a form of youth strategic methods to make sure that when the youths look at us, they will want to they will admire us, number one, and we will be a form of a role model towards them and their aspiration. So this is why I will definitely say we are unifying, no matter if we're in competition. And that's why I always use as my motto: youth are the agents of change. So we are the ones steering the change, and we cannot be steering the change by trying to repeat past experience.
Okay. Now, let me get back to you, Ms. Boswin there. Usually when it comes to elections, especially what we've been used to, there is a perception now that with youth parliament that, your political, parties or who you support, might be involved in this process. How do you respond to that? Is it, any politics involved, or just youths coming together? Yeah.
There is no politics involved. I must get that out there. There is no politics involved. We are advocating on behalf of the youth of Carriacou and PT Martinique, regardless of your creed, your color, your shape, your size, no matter what. We are advocating for you. And I want the young people to get that straight. We are not about any political affiliation. And people have been coming to me concerning that, thinking that I'm running my own campaign, running against the government, the opposition, and the other parties involved. And there is none of that, Mr. Mills. We stand for the youth. We rise up to the occasion, seeing that there's a need for us to get involved in the policy making, decision making, actively involved in our communities to make a difference. Because if no one steps up now to the plate, who will do it? What will happen to our beautiful Carriacou and PT Martinique in the future? Who will do it? The older folks are going out. And at the end of the day, it looks upon us as youth to step up to the mantle and take that and drive it home and say, well, we want to make an impactful change. We want to do something for our nation, and we're going to do it. We're going to get the work done. It's not about just talking. We're not here to just, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We have to put in the work. So I always even tell my colleagues here, it's not about just coming and talk to the people that you're going to do X, Y, and Z. When you get there, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to fulfill it. It's about action. I say, regardless to what outcome is. You're not going to just sit down the, I get position. I'm happy. I'm content. No, they didn't vote for you for that. They voted for you to work, to fulfill the promises that you have made to the people. Yes, we do know sometimes the timeline, like right now, whoever is elected would have 1.5 years because it started in January and we are a bit behind in Carriacou and Petit Martinique because of the hurricane. But you have 1.5 year, a year and 6 months to really hit the ground running. So when you elected, the next day you should be working, putting your plans in place and gathering the youth. So I would say let the youth rally around us, continue to encourage us, and we're gonna do this together.
Ms. Fortune, let me get to you because election is on the 24th of July. 24th of July. Did you say so? When is the election?
No, I gave you the registration date.
Registration date
is from the 1st of June to the 17th of July.
Okay. Now, what I want to find out now.
Election is the 24th of July.
Right. Okay. Right. I think I heard that somewhere along the line. Now, what I was going to ask you now is that once the process is complete and we have had a representative from Carriacou, Petit Martinique, what's expected of them?
Well, they would join with the other candidates from Grenada. They would have meetings, they would have sit-ins, as I mentioned earlier. They would have the National Youth Parliament sit-ins. So that's where they would do, as our candidates mentioned, advocate for change. They would debate on different issues, things that concerns our young persons. So that would be the full force voice of our young persons, just as how the seniors have their advocating and the debate on policies and so forth. It would be similar because we talk about our young persons being involved, and I really like the mentality of our candidates. This is what we want our young persons to think. We don't have to fight each other to be successful, but we could support, we can run our individual race while still supporting someone else, because at the end of the day, whatever happens in Carriacou and Petit Martinique benefits us, or it will affect us, whether positive or negative. So we want our young persons to have an open mind, get involved, know what is happening. Don't always listen to say after somebody, but find out for yourself. What are the policies of my country? Processes of parliament. What should happen? What shouldn't happen? When parliament takes place. We want effective change. We don't just want change. We want effective transformational change in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So this is what we are vying for. We are starting with the right source. Our young persons. Once we have them involved, that's what we need. We don't need them to sit on the sidelines. We don't need them to get into crime and violence and behaviors that is not healthy because they are not involved or they don't feel part of our country, or they don't feel part of. So the National Youth Parliament is like an extension of government at a youth level, and this can also help to effect the change of our policies in the country as a whole, because our young person voice is important. And these are the people who would lead us one day. What are we creating? Are we creating persons that would be effective? Or are we creating persons that would be, persons that would lack empathy and cannot really bring out that peaceful Carriacou and Petit Martinique that we are used to? So this is us investing in our young persons. This is us pushing our young persons to the front and saying, okay, it's okay that you can voice your opinion. We would support you, we would cushion you, we would pray for you, we would encourage you. We would be that wall of Jericho around you. You understand? So we just want our young persons. We want to effect change, and we don't want the society where persons feel they always have to be fighting to be successful. You don't have to fight me to be successful. We can be in the same business and be successful in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And as Mr. Drexler said, there is a lot of opportunities in Carriacou. We may look at it as Carriacou small and we see these big skyscraper buildings and we feel that we are not worthy or we are not a part of, Karaku have a lot of room for developments for young persons. And as Mr. Charles rightfully said, young persons need to form corporations. They need to come together. That's what they do in the bigger world. And we want to go out there and be part of it. But why can't we change Karaku and Petit Martinique to suit us? We already in a peaceful, good environment. We breathe clean air. There's certain things we don't have to worry about. But there is a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of room for effective change. And to our young persons, I am pleading with you to get involved. Get involved in community groups. Get involved in anything that speaks to positive change. That would help you grow. One day it help you develop even as an individual. It help your mindset to change, to be open, to love each other, to be empathetic towards each other in society. So we want you to be on this journey with us. We open it to you. We are not barring you from it. And we want you to support our candidates. They are young, intelligent, passionate advocates. And this is what we need. That's why we decided to take the youth parliament to another level and not just the average debating. But after you debate, what do? You have the National Youth Parliament, you can advocate. You can maybe create proposals to the government to say, okay, we want this as a youth program. This is what, there's a lot that could be done, Mr. Mills, but the space has to be created, and we have created that space for young person. This is just one of the avenue. There would be many more to come, but this is important because to effect change, you cannot effect change without creating effective policies and laws. So this is where you start, because you can talk it, but if you don't have nothing in place to back it up, you're just going to continue talking. So this is part of the process. We want everybody to be involved, whether you could vote or not. As I said earlier, be involved. Want to see our young people in Karaku and Petit Martinique rise. Anyone from among this group could be the prime minister in 10 years. We don't know. You understand? One of our young persons could be the president of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. We don't know. But this is where they are starting. This is their stepping stone to greatness. And we want to encourage them. We want to push them that wherever they end up, that they would always have Karaku and Petit Martinique on their mind. They could be any part of the world and effect changing Karaku to say, okay, this is where I started. I'm going to do this program. I'm going to support. I'm going to give this amount of scholarships. This is where it starts. You don't just wake up one day and become. You grow through the process. You fall, you get up. So this is what we want all young persons to know. It's okay to be part of the process, and everybody's important.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if I were to say this, and I'm going to start with you, Mr. James, I'm a young voter, 16 to 35. I'm getting ready for the elections, and I'm looking at all the candidates. I noticed that there's unity among you guys,
Yes.
But your final words convince me to vote for you.
My final words to convince any young voter between 16 to 35. I will say that I, Ricardo James, will push towards education in the sense of practical skill training in Karaku. Bring that, like what they have, something similar like what they have in New Law. We want to bring that practical skill training in Karaku. We don't must have the facility to start the program, but we can start the program with our local construction contractors. We can start with our local electricians. We can start with our local plumbers. We can start with our local tilers, so that our youths in Karaku and Petit Martinique can be able to assist in the construction field. Because number one, the government have initiated the Build Back Better program, where they are after burial, and they are struggling for workmen. Labor is a big problem in Karaku. You can't get an electrician just like that. You can't get a plumber just like that. You can't get a contractor just like that. You can't get a mason. You can't get a carpenter just like that. So they are suffering for skill trained construction workers. So this is something that we should be able to bring into Carriacou, even though that we don't have the facility as yet. We can use our local contractors to be able to teach the young people to develop that skill train in Carriacou. Also, what I will say that, and that will create a form of employment. So a person within the age of 16 and 35, once you understand that perspective of where I'm coming from, that will also give you employment, and you will be paid as a skilled trained person. So you're not going to be paid anymore as a normal workman. You're not going to get the scums anymore. You're going to be getting what is definitely rightfully yours because you're skilled and you have the knowledge about the construction and that field. Even as I spoke about housing, once you develop the skill and you are now employed and you are making sufficient money, you can be able now to go on in purchasing a land. Or you can use that job and that skill that you have, and you can go to a loaning institution. You can apply for a loan because you're making sufficient money as a young man now. You can go to a loaning institution and you can deal with the loaning officer, and you could bring all the documents that she requests, and you could get a loan. You could start. You could use the land as collateral once you purchase the land, and so on. And you could start from there as a young man. So this is my proposal to any youth at the age of 16 to 35. Go in and vote on that day, July the 24th, 2025. Remember that I will advocate for a skill train base in Carriacou. And the secondly, what I will advocate for again, which by already negotiation already with some top people, policymakers, I already started speaking with them in bringing forth a youth center in Carriacou. Because as we can see, the government has come up with a cultural center. So now I'm going to advocate for a youth center in Carriacou that will assist with leadership training, that will assist with public speaking, that will assist with confidence to give young people confidence. That will also be used for arts and craft, and that will also use develop communities and where our youth could be able to socialize and develop that togetherness, and they can fly like the eagle into the horizon.
All right, okay. And I'll move to you now, Ms. Bosuan. Your closing remarks. You have to convince me that you could be the candidate for change and you should be the one selected so I could give you the vote.
Of course.
Yeah.
To the youth of Carriacou and PT Martinique, this is Casey Boson speaking to you. I believe in we, the young people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, our voices, our passion, our development. We can do this together. As my slogan says again, together we rise, together we thrive, hand in hand, rooted in pride. I would advocate on your behalf. We will fight the great fight together, going out there to speak on your behalf, to rally your support. We cannot do this by ourselves. Once cooperation and development goes hand in hand, we can do this. I would advocate for recreational development or mental health because that's important to us as young people. Not forgetting skills and job training opportunities. This is something that is much needed for us as young people. Apprenticeship, mentorship, leadership programs. There are many opportunities that we can take advantage of once we have the skills. Education is a must. We must understand that. But degrees is not all. We need to advance ourselves in developing real life skills. And that's why I'll go ahead and have free training for digital advancement and financial literacy, because that's an issue that we need to know how to manage our money, manage our fund that we are constantly having, our fisher folks, our farmers. I'm speaking to every young person out there, the young people of Carriacou and PT Martinique. Rally behind me and vote for Casey as your national youth parliamentarian for Carriacou and PT Martinique. We are beautiful people and we are going to do this together. It is our journey and we're going to rise against the tides.
Mr. Charles, you need to convince me now that you heard the other two, convinced me that I should be voting for you as a representative for Carriacou and Petit-Martinique.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, my name is Drexler Charles, a National Youth Parliamentarian candidate for Carriacou. Why the youth should vote for me? Before I reiterate things from my manifesto, I'd like to start saying, I am just like you. I was never Mr. Valedictorian or big up on debate or ever see me on GBN News representing my school or any of things. I was just a small child that had a passion since he was young. School was never maybe the thing that I enjoyed, but I had passion, I had a drive, and I brought myself to where I am today. And I've come back and I am currently helping individuals within Carriacou, our farmers and our fishers especially. And the reason you vote for me is because I see a gap. I see the issues that we have. I see when it comes to being connected, knowing about certain things that are going on, being able to access it, the problems of maybe, they go watch face, any of that, none of that. I believe that every youth can make it. And once every youth can make it, we have no worries. We all know somebody that does something, that has a skill, whether it's fishing, farming, mechanic, whatever. Once we all make it, we're all good. We all can work together. We can bridge that gap. So you vote for me. So I give the youth the opportunity not only to work together, but when it comes to guidance with the Youth Hub, scholarships, trainings, applications, when it comes to youth governance and leadership, it gives you now the power to be the change of the future. And not only that, when it comes to accessing grants and financing, to where you could bypass government. You don't have to worry about watch face. You in control of getting that money for your community. You have that control, giving the youths the control now, so they can shape that future. We all see certain things that go on in Carriacou, and as youths, we're confused. Why is that way? They're not making sense. But I want to give you that power to shape that change. And I would like to end off especially saying, yes, youth parliament is non-political, but the reason I want to change how the youth look at these things. Politics is now about partyism. It's about policies. It's about change. It's about development. You don't have to talk about whose side they and what. Once you're talking about change and you're talking about development and improving people, that's politics. Mm-hmm. So talk politics, not partyism, but talk about change and policies and leadership and development. Because the five of us together, maybe 80% of the island probably know all five of us to a certain extent. So look at that percentage, that means you must know somebody who would end up in politics, who end up in some position of change eventually. So why not talk that into existence now? Because by percentage, you already know who's going to be the future leaders. You might not know who yet, but we have to get that mind frame firsthand. And we got to wake up and realize we're better together than divided. And that is my last statement.
Okay. You want to know something, Miss Fortune? I'm so glad that is a secret ballot. Yeah, because I've seen in each of one of those this morning, I could see the drive, I could see the commitment, I could see the sincerity, I could see everything in them, wanting to advocate change.
Yeah.
And at this early age, we have to commend them. And whoever the representative, I want to congratulate in advance, whoever it is, but encourage that the unity that you have now among yourselves will continue. And that person will be just basically going through the motions of what decisions and aspirations that you guys, would like to achieve, and keep it together. I really want to see you keep it together,
And this is a mindset that we wish 90% of our young persons would, have. And if we have that, we could look forward to a beautiful, even more beautiful Carriacou and Petit-Martinique. In my closing, Mr. Mills, I'll like to reiterate the website for registration. Registration is not now open until the 17th of July. The website is cpmyouthvote.com. 16 to 35, that's the age range. You can use your national ID. I forgot to mention you can also use your driver's license for those who has that, and for the children in the school 16, you can go into NIS and register. It's a simple process. You can go into NIS and register. And well, I don't, as I said earlier, you can look out for the names of the candidate on Facebook. I guess most person goes by their name. Also pay attention to the Ministry of Carriacou and Peter Martinic Affairs Facebook page and other press releases as it concerns this National Youth election in Carriacou and Peter Martinic. We are encouraging persons between the age of 16 and 35 to get registered. cpmyouthvote.com. Get registered to support this beautiful set of young persons that wants to see Carriacou and Peter Martinic in a better place. We wish them all the best, God's blessings upon the process, and we are praying for, the most successful persons to win. And I know even if only one person can, get that seat, but I know from being around and observing that they are still going to support that person as they, go ahead, because it's for Carriacou and Peter Martinic. So remember, we have only one representative within the National Youth Parliament for Carriacou and Peter Martinic. So we all need to rally around whoever that person is to provide support and advice and prayers and empowerment, encouragement, and so forth. So when you register on the site, you would get a passcode. Okay. And as I mentioned, nomination day would be announced by Your Excellency Charis Bristol. As the time goes on, she will do the writ to make that announcement. So we just want to encourage our wider public as these young people come out to the community to talk to you. Just be open, welcome them, love upon them, advise them, pray for them. Any way you can be a means of support to them. Just be that support system. And to our young persons within the voting range, register to vote. You would see more of, you can go onto the site cpmyouthvote.com. Pay attention to the press releases from the Ministry of Carriacou and Peter Martinic Affairs, that as you would be more informed, and there would be other, I guess, as we go along, more interaction. I'm not sure if we'll be back here, but you would see lots of videos and stuff in the media with these young persons. Support them. And I love the unity, and this is what we want our future politicians to have: unity, love, empathy, and togetherness.
Okay.
So we thank you in advance. And Mr. Mills, thank you for having us. Thank you for giving us this space to inform the public on what we are doing. And we look forward to you as we provide the information to you. You would share it with the wider public on behalf of the Division of Youth Carriacou. I'm Miss Fortune. I'm saying thank you to all the listeners, the persons who took the time out to listen. Thank you, and support our young persons. Be their support, be their cushion, be their guide. So thank you very much, Mr. Mills.
Well, thank you again for coming in here this morning. And I want to wish each and every one of you, Mr. Charles,
Yes.
good luck. Ms.
Thank you very
Boswin,
much.
good luck.
Thank you.
And you also, Mr. James, good luck. And I always say, the best man will win, but at the end of the day, we all come together, unify for a purpose. And that purpose is unity and progress for the youth in Carriacou. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the campaign trail.
Yes, and thank you very much again for listening to us and to the general public as well.
And let me make a pledge to you guys, okay? Listen, okay? As manager of Vibes FM, okay? If you do a production of your campaign, I'm talking about like an MP3, send it in to me. I would support you, give you free advertising free, not a cent charge to each and every one of you until election day comes. Okay? All right. So,
And Brother Mills, I
Yeah.
would just like to add and think it's fair enough that each one of us should be able to give a final message to the youths of words of inspiration and words of advice. And I think I would like to start before we finally wrap up. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm Ricardo James, and the people of Carriacou, mostly Carriacou, know me. Pity Mortic, they see me around, but they may not know me that much close. I'm Ricardo James, and I'm sending a message out there to all the youths. The youths that is sitting on the block, my advice to you is to get up from the block, leave the block, and find something productive to do. We all have ambition and we all have potential. So don't waste your time on the block because the block cannot give you nothing. I lived it, I experienced it. That's why I can be able to give you that advice. I want to speak to the youths, especially in the ghetto as well. When you're in that situation, I know it feels lonely. It feels like you're neglected. It feels like you are forgotten and nobody is not paying you any mind and there's no attention pointed out to you. And I'm saying to you, we, the 5 candidates, and me, myself, Ricardo James, are saying to you, you are not neglected. And just silent will not be silence anymore. We and I am your voice, as well as my colleagues. We are your voice, and what we are doing is to create awareness and bring forth meaningful opportunities for our young people, especially in the ghetto side, the rural part of our island. Our youths of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we have so much ability to do beyond measures, to change the dynamics in our island of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We, as youths, one day can be able to build houses. We, as youths, one day can be sitting in the House of Parliament as Prime Minister and ministers. We have the capability to do the job and we have the potential. Believe in yourself, as my logo is the eagle. Even though if your wing is broken, take a rest. Take a rest. Let it heal and try again. Practice makes it perfect. So don't try once and give up and say I'm going back to the drawing board and say you're giving up, you're not going back to the drawing board. Go back to the drawing board and try a different way. Try a different strategy. Try a different method, and you will see significant changes as you keep trying. So keep on going, keep on pressing, and one day, as youths of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, you will be able to fly like the eagle, exhale, and make your beautiful Carriacou and Petit Martinique proud and ever again. Make the red, green, and gold flag fly across the world as youths of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Thank you, Brother Mills, for having me.
Well, thank you so much again for you guys. And I want to reiterate again, I made you a promise and I'm looking forward to getting some information back here. You know, the MP3 is coming, Mr. Charles, you know.
Definitely.
I know you could do it.
Of course, of course.
Mr. Bosun, yeah, I hope you're ready to. And Mr. James, is open. And the other 2 candidates that were missing this morning, you know, it's open to them as well too, okay?
Okay. No
All right.
problem.
So enjoy. Good luck again.
Hold on, Mr.
Yes,
Mills.
yes.
Mr. James said he was going to ask. He asked for permission to open up the floor for us to give our final remarks. He gave his final remarks. I think it's fair that the other 2 candidates, myself and Mr. Charles,
I have
give
no
our
problem at all.
final remarks.
Go ahead.
No matter how short it
Yes.
can be.
Okay.
So I'll go.
Yes.
This is Casey Boson, a familiar face on the island who walks through the street. I am a sister, a daughter, a friend, a confidant who would stand by you, the youth of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I believe in us that we can do great things together and we will continue working together to make our dreams possible. No matter what anyone tells you, you can do it. I believe in our voices. I believe in our passion. I believe we can make it, and we'll continue to make it together. Also, I'm sending a message to the older folks, the parents. Continue to rally on behalf of your children. Continue to be that guiding hand and stand with them, because no matter what they're facing, you need to be the person that they come to. And if they cannot come to their parents, who would they turn to? So we need to step up to the plate, and make sure that our young people can come to us and be that guiding force. And even if you don't fall between the ages of 16 to 35, you can still support us, of course. Support us in any way that you can. As Mr. Mills, we thank you that you're giving us that contribution, that we can have free advertising. So people in the diaspora, wherever you are, Carriacou, Grenada, anywhere in the world, if you want to support us, you can support us through sponsorship, by motivation, advice, because we cannot do this by ourselves. We rally on your support, your advice to lead the way, because we are the ones that are coming up to lead the future generation. So again, I thank you, and make sure young people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, go out there, stand out, and make your voices be known, and vote Casey Boson. That's right, Casey Boson. I'll say it for you to hear it, so that you can feel the impact of my voice that's going to be in Parliament, rallying on your behalf to make a difference for our collective benefit. So go there. Remember, register, because you need to do that. And the registration date ends on the 17th of July, 2025. And the voting day is the 24th. You have to keep that on your schedule. Do not forget it. And when we go out in the streets, especially me, you see me, you can encourage me. You can walk along with me. Follow me on my Facebook page, on my Instagram. It's KC Boson or KCB. That's Casey Boson. Just remember that. I'm going to make that a household name, and we're going to walk in the streets together. So rally with me, come out with me, support me, whatever event that we're having, stand by us, because we're going to fight for the youths. Together we can make it possible. Thank you very much for listening.
Like I said earlier on, the campaign starts.
Yes.
Right, Mr. Charles? Mr. Charles. The platform is yours.
Yes,
Finally.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, so my name is Rexer Charles, the youth parliamentarian candidate for Carriacou. And I'll open it up with some words of encouragement to the youths. It doesn't matter where you're from, your background. It doesn't matter. Once you have a dream, there is a way. And do not get too caught up with social media and certain trends and what is cool and what is bad, whatever badness or whatever it may be. Carriacou has immense potential, and we, the youth, should be the ones to harness that potential. And not only to have your dreams, is to make it innovative, incorporate AI and e-learning, geospatial data. We have so much potential. Look within your dreams and make them flourish. Like my sailing boat logo, cutting through the waves. I want us, the youth, to cut through to a different path. You know, break down all rules, all values that may have. Not everybody can be on the block. Yes, you could do construction, but you could do it in a no innovative way. You could incorporate more different technologies, And so I encourage all the youths that this is not no watch face thing. I believe everyone can make it, and believe in yourself, and believe everybody that can make it. And remember, united we stand, divided we fall. So we as youths have to rely on each other. And with the parents, I would call out to the parents as well, that you should encourage the youths. Do not knock them down. Their ideas may not make sense for you, but it makes sense to them. It's a different world that we're in, and a different world that is evolving. What it took to start a business back then might not take the same things now. So you have to be able to at least have an open mind. And through my manifesto, I hope to design a means to where their ideas can flourish and their innovations can lead to not just to the success for themselves, but the success to other youths and older people in Carriacou. So I encourage all the youths to vote for me, Drexter Charles. I know you may see me around, you may not know me too much, but I hope to change that. Hopefully to get my voice out there. You know, I've been around helping fishers and farmers, and I'll continue to help me. So, regardless of youth parliament, you would see me getting out there a bit more, regardless, win or lose. I'll be out there trying to advocate and encourage the youth to get into spaces. Because as I said, I cannot win alone. Once everybody win, we all good. Success can be shared. So do not think somebody is competing with you. Nobody, everybody can make it. So there's no kind of competition. If somebody's doing mechanic and you want to do mechanic as well, you can lean more into IT aspect of it.
Oh yeah. Specialize.
You could specialize into different areas. So not just to think the old metrics, innovation. If you don't even know you could use ChatGPT, you can give you advice. You can talk to an AI program and it can give you access, a little advice. There's simple things that we the youth don't think about. So once we are connected and we share the knowledge and the advice amongst each other, nothing short than the moon. So vote for me, Drexter Charles. You'll see me posting on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and hoping to meet each and every one of you, the youths and parents as well.
Let me just add one more thing, Brother Mills. To the people listening via Facebook and to the people listening via the radio station, look out for the Youth Center once I'm your youth parliamentarian and representative for Carriacou and Pittimore. I definitely will be having a sit down with the minister to make sure you add it in the next budget cycle for 2026. We are going to see a youth center in Carriacou. Just know. Just be patient.
Good luck to everybody. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Mills.
Just want to remind our listeners, this is just part one. Part two of Speak Out Unfiltered coming up. Stay tuned.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
As we continue right here on Vibes FM, we'll Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday. Well, I want to say good afternoon because some places are already into the afternoon, but we're still a little before the noon hour. So, Koi, let me move over to you and say, still good morning, still good morning.
Well, to avoid morning or afternoon, I'll say good day.
Good day.
Yes.
That's the way it is. Eh? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Well, you see,
I listened attentively to the young people, and I thought that Chaiku and Petit Matnik are in good hands, future-wise, in terms of management of what's happening, in terms of knowing, understanding the needs of, in this case, young people. And young people are the ones who have to deal with young people's issues. Yes, adults can and should guide, but of course, it seems to me, Kim, that they have a clear understanding of what their role is, not just as a parliamentarian, but what their role is as a citizen of this place. And what we need is citizens, citizens, good citizens at all times. And I think that, as I said, I believe that Kiakwam Petit Matnik.
I could feel the atmosphere changing, which is so important to have the youths involved in the process, and to see the enthusiasm and the encouragement they're getting out there, and the eagerness to make a difference, to be heard. That's so important.
And what is also interesting that we do have the minister is a youth,
right?
So this thing is not just started now. It's been building way back when, and we've seen the accomplishment that he's making as a youth, and he's an example. And I believe that as I said,
it could be a motivation for them.
Yeah, he is. And so that there are so many lessons we can learn. I heard someone said that you don't give up. You try once, try twice, and that is an attitude that we need to develop and have. That despite whatever the challenges are, we keep standing, and we we accomplish things.
Let me take a call then now because I just opened up the lines. So the lines are open 443-0101 and 403-0101 458-1914. Vibes FM caller, thank you for waiting. Caller, come in. Caller, hello.
Morning, Mr. Mills, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Greetings, Mr. Coy.
Yes. Good morning. Good afternoon.
I tuned in there to your program this morning because I was relaxed, and I heard the young people there talking, and I must indeed say that I appreciate their efforts and so on and what they're about. Threw me back to some years ago, a moment in our history, we had a very powerful quote-unquote national youth organization during the days of the quote-unquote People's Revolution.
Right.
And we know how effective it was back then. But of course, the approach is different today. To involve the young people, it seems that the modern technology and the artificial intelligence have changed up everything. The conversation was good, but there we go. It provokes questions when I hear that today what we have is a national youth parliament. Being a meticulous person as I am, I ask the following question. First, with clear understanding that the word parliament in language has a specific definition, quote unquote, a place where the laws of the state are made, upgraded, debated, and upgraded. It's an arm of the state. Therefore, for a national youth parliament to function, I am of the opinion, personally repeat, I'm speaking on my own behalf, that there should be some legitimacy to this organization. Now, I wanted to ask the question during the time the people were there, but of course I couldn't do it. So I'm asking the question, I'd like you, Mr. Mills, as host of this program, to make some research. Can anyone refer to me the part of the, so-called, thus referred to, ergo named, strange words you may not know, but they all make the same thing. You see some of them get back to when I say so-called because they don't understand the meaning of it. constitution of this country that gives legitimacy to this National Youth Parliament. I heard certain things and so on that when they're elected and so on, they would have them to get money and to do this and that. Is this legitimate? That's my first question. The second question, they're all advocating what they will do and so on after elections. My question is, would these elections be conducted by the quote-unquote parliamentary elections office of the country, a part of the state apparatus again, and be fuddled? So I thought I'd throw these questions out to you, Mr. Mills. If you cannot answer them now, I reckon that you will do the research and you will tell us a little more about it another time. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, sir. Oh, I got some homework to do.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we could study together.
Yeah. It's important that we sometimes go into deep research and sort of bring things like that to the front.
Yes, and it's important. I think it's a genuine question. I see going forward nothing other than building on what the foundation being laid, and I think it is important that we get it right at the start. And so it's interesting that that this question is being asked about its legitimacy, in the sense that what teeth does it have? So I look forward to getting into that kind of understanding.
Well, I think in the very near future, quite a number of the questions that we asking will be answered. They will be answered in just a matter of time. Vibes FM, line 9 caller.
Good morning, Mr. Mills, Mr. Coy. Good morning. I am calling this morning for history and record's sake, okay? Because somebody said, well, the caller before, he kind of spoke like if the youth organization was just during the revolution. But I want him to know that the revolution met the youth group, under the GULP. In fact, it was during, I'm sure people will remember, it was during Youth Week that Bernadette was killed in Tantine. Her body was found in the drain in Tantine with Precious and Keke, that famous case where people were hung for killing her.
Yeah.
And that was during GULP, and it was during Youth Week. Yes, there was a vibrant youth group before the revolution. The revolution met it. The revolution even met a national women's group also that they turned into another group, So I just say for the records, let me just add that little piece. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dave. Right. I was not even aware of that, what that caller is just saying there.
Yeah.
But let me say good afternoon or good morning still. Yes, still got a few minutes before the hour. So, Leo,
good morning, sir. How are you?
All right, I know things.
Fine. Thank you. Hope you're well.
Yes, sir.
Because I am feeling okay. So, just sorry for the late.
Yeah, well, you realize that this morning we had some youth parliamentarians candidates,
Yes.
And they seem to be energized.
Well, and so it's only proper to give way to the youth.
Yeah.
For now, so.
For now? all the time.
No, I have no problems giving way to the youth, Is all that I would say is that they should be mentored, because you don't expect to leave them by themselves and they be able to do everything that you think might be necessary, even for them. So it's good with a little advice here and there, but of course, let them share their opinion too and roll things on. And I think that we will have a better transition. It'll be easier to pass the baton.
Yeah, because the baton has to be passed.
It has to be passed.
And it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of time. And we sometimes try to ignore and neglect the passing of the baton, and sometimes we end up like.
Well, when they hit the table, they realize they win the race. If you're on without baton, when
you're not in the race.
No, well, you're still running, but you're winning.
Because you are not no baton to pass?
Yeah, you have to pass the baton. That's what life is all about. It's a relay.
Yeah.
It is a relay, And but some of us sometimes don't realize it's a relay, and we end up well.
You see, and we hear me talking about bad children. It's the parents and if you have something of value to pass on to your children, and you do so, 9 out of 10 times you'll be successful. But if you yourself probably got to the tip of the baton yourself, you see, you're compounding the misery down the road. We end up with not bad children, but bad parents.
But speaking about that, and looking at the enthusiasm that these youths have right now, and listening to our government now and some of the representatives that we have, are youths as well. There's a sort of a blend that's taking place,
Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary because certain things we learn from our peers, although you have to get it from somewhere else. Trust me on that one. And a lot of things that your older folks will know, it's pointless trying to reinvent the wheel. You could get that by liaising with them. It's so sad that, when we were growing up, you were able to, be with your older folks and learn things from them, interact with them. And some people might think now is the time has come. Old people must be by themselves and young people be by themselves. There are times for that.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying no. But if you just confine yourself to your peers and not at least getting some information at what went before you, the things that people learn from their experience, then you'll be missing out a whole lot.
Yeah. And that what you're saying there, I could associate to that because one of the things that's been happening for the longest while is that we have sort of moved and opened up a gap.
No good.
No good.
No good.
We got to come together, stay together.
Yes.
And if we don't do that, we're never going to get to anywhere because we all need the support of one another. No man couldn't do it all by himself.
Not at all.
But but sometimes you find that some people take on that mantle and feel that they have it and they could do it and they don't need you.
Just to bring that in, I heard you use that word, we have it. You know what that reminds me of? Our independence when Daddy Blaze came back. And there's this talk about, he says, we have it in the bag. We have it in the bag. So, and I don't hope it's just as that having in the bag then is what we have now. Because what we have, what he said that we have in the bag was that Carriacou and Petit Martinique, yes, would be
separating. Independent from Grenada.
Independent from Grenada. Yeah. It didn't happen, of course, not yet. But the evidence is there. The Constitution says there shall be
local
government for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And that is enshrined. It's not someone that we have to debate again. So I'm just saying those words trigger that thought in my mind where he says we have it in the bag. Indeed, we have it in the bag, but it's on the books. We want it out of there and be a practical thing for all of us. And so these young people, I hope they have it in the bag so that they can build on what we would have already laid down.
Well, I think the foundation is there now. We just have to sort of build on that because they are showing the interest of wanting to be part of the process. So we know in this situation now, we have to encourage them and guide them because, unless they get some guidance, they would not be able to perform, in the right way. So this is where the mantle still remains on the elders to navigate them properly so they could become what they ought to be.
But of course, the one good thing, that's why we have to advocate not only for the youth taking over, but proper parenting that are going to guide them along those lines. Because again, those who went before us, those who are older than us, they have some experience that we don't pick up daily. We can't pay for that. We have to make the use of those who've done that before, been there and done that, in other words, as we say. So, and we must learn from them as we go along. And because, culturally, sometimes I look at what happened then and what's happening now, and it's never going to be the same. There will be always changes. But if your changes are too drastic, then somewhere, somehow, you would have left what's supposed to be your culture behind,
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So if you didn't have that coming down from somebody, it will be left behind.
Okay. The lines are now open. 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, and also you can call 458-1914. Vibes FM caller? Caller, you on? Caller, come in.
Good afternoon. Are you finishing early?
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Are you finishing early today or?
No, the usual time.
Usual time, 2 o'clock. I want to make a little contribution. It won't be very long. Are we becoming a job nation? or we have a kind of carnival mentality? I say that in respect of the situation where certain NNP elements going wrong and said that the Prime Minister want to ban job. I know just after the election, I think when he won, he played a bit of job with young people. So I want NNP to stop this kind of mischief they're going about with. I don't think job or carnival must be celebrated before the due date, which is early August. Early August.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And a lot of people are disgusted and they're probably afraid to air the views regarding people dotting our street before carnival, and this could cause serious problems, right? So I think, we don't celebrate Easter before the Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. We don't celebrate Christmas before Christmas Day or Boxing Day or Christmas Eve. And why some, lawless young people should parade our street, if I could use that word, blacken up themselves and creating all kind of lawlessness in our country. Now, I know NNP was allowing lawlessness because of votes, but I don't think our Prime Minister would want to go down that road. No one is above the law, and the police must do their job and lock up some of these people who want to dirty our roads before the carnival time. I'm sure many of us remember NNP time in office. They allow anything goes for vote. I don't think we are possessing or this kind of job. Many of us in the country do not have this kind of job or carnival mentality. So let us not forget 23 and a half years of NNP, 23 and a half years of ignorance, spite, and victimization, in my opinion. Many of this kind of thing that's going on in our society today, this malaise, this paralysis, I believe, is our result of our long years of NNP rule. Because to me, these people, they have no standard, they have no decency, but to create all kind of nonsense in our society. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, in my view, and his team have taken us out of darkness into this marvelous light. And we don't want to go back there, despite all NNP efforts to discredit those young men, especially our good friend Andy, who is doing such a marvelous work. We don't want to go back there. So NNP must be careful with what they're trying to do in our society, because we all aware of what they're trying to do. People in the diaspora, people in everywhere, congratulating our Prime Minister and his team for the good work they're doing in our country. And we don't want to spoil that. We want to continue. Education is key. Education is liberation. When you have an education, you know how to behave in the community, you know what to eat, you know what to drink. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. So we must be careful and don't let NNP, grasp the narrative and want to do what they want and want to lie to the people. We passed that stage now. We don't want to go back there.
Okay.
Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next caller. Thank you for waiting. Caller, come in.
Good morning to my colleagues.
Good
morning. Good morning.
Congratulations on the program you had this morning. I listened to it and it was very interesting. There is the real purpose of our people responsibility in inventing themselves in the community development. I must thank them for that. I listened to them and they was proposing the community to be the kind of place they want it to be. And it's a plus. To me, community involvement is the way to go. The same community means committed people. O mean organizing, M and M mean mingling and mobilizing. A united effort. The way to negotiate the effort intellectually for togetherness in order to yield. So it's again a privilege because the young people are the ones to take up the mantle in the end. All the old ones are dying out, and the young people must improve themselves in order to do that work which they have to. So congratulations again for bringing that program, and it was interesting, and I learned a lot from it.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
you. Thank you so much, Ken. 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, and 458-1914. The caller before spoke about the jab. I don't know if you've been following Koi, what's been taking place, Mr. Elias Soliu as well too.
Yes.
And for some reason, it seems as though that the NNP surrogates, I want to staple them out there, trying to create some sort of a negative vibes out there as it pertains to what was said. I don't know if they don't understand English language or what is, so empty in the comments that they're making.
People just like to take a little thing and put their own spin on it and think everybody thinking as that.
Yeah, because when I listened to the Prime Minister, and he made a statement there and he was saying, that it's kind of early and they need to, organize themselves properly, especially the road that they traverse, heavy traffic with the tar and everything like that there, and it's kind of early for that. So if they want to do it, they could do it someplace else, but they seem to want to say, want to ban the jab.
Yeah. Well, the surrogates again, they have the will. Anything they could see or use to discredit the current administration, they will do so. And thinking about that, I observed what happened at this news conference.
Just a minute before you touch that.
Okay.
Vibes FM, caller, come in. Caller? Oh, okay, we lost the caller. Yes. Talk about the news conference. Yes, go ahead.
I had to conclude that as bad as discrimination is, it's sometimes necessary. Sometimes you have to discriminate. You can't just let any and everybody just wash their foot and come into your your very high-end party. It's not good.
No.
And if you notice, it's a bad sign. It speaks to the teachings that was given. So you have the same behavior in somebody's news conference as your boss is doing in parliament. Don't know when, don't know how, just literally unruly.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. No. I mean, really, what you're saying there, Soliu, I mean, it really, baffles me that we have this kind of people behaving in this kind of way, And I'm going to go into it in a little detail a little bit, but let me just take a break and take a call for us. We're going to come back to it. Vibes FM caller coming on.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you doing, Uncle Leo? Good afternoon. Greetings.
Greetings is the name of
You
Allah.
know, I just want to say good afternoon
Good
to my friend Kim Jones.
Yeah.
And I want to let him know, oh God, boy, I hear about you. Oh God, boy, you're going to party with your whole self. I say, if you see you, boy, on the floor. Oh my God. But anyhow, it was a good party, plenty food. Everything was intact. I say everything Kim Jones touched, it just turned to gold, you know.
Yes,
So
man.
Kim Jones, big up your whole self.
Yeah.
I just want to say to our Prime Minister this afternoon, I was listening Monday evening to hear a address to the job from the Prime Minister. But on the other hand, I remember a still tongue keep a wise head. And I want the job and them to know they don't win that war. We vote for that Prime Minister to bring back law and order in our country, and we're expecting that. Our Prime Minister never say no job to have to shouldn't play. But what I hear he say to a bit too early to block up the road and do all this stuff on the main road. So we have to learn to respect that. For all these years we rule under our government with this do what you want, you know. But we didn't at 30-something thousand people vote for that Prime Minister not to do what you want, but at least to bring back law and order in our country. And it's just that. People have to learn. Some children now they don't want to hear from mother and father, but at least we vote a Prime Minister that we should hear from him. And we give him 5 years. After the next 2 years, who want to vote him out for the carnival, for the job, they could do just that. But with Mr. Prime Minister, you have 2 more years for the people that want law and order in this country, and you to work on it. And it's just that. I just want to give a little joke. This man come from overseas and he come to run some wire here. So the taxi driver take him at the airport and they was chatting. So he say, "Where will get some wire?" He want both wire, negative and positive. The taxi driver say, "Man, check out a man they call him Kim Jones. You get all the wire you want, the positive wire." He say, "Where will get the negative?" He said, "Check out a man they was called chatters on the street. You're getting all the negative wire." So after the man finished on the wire, he going back now. The taxi driver go and meet him. The taxi driver say, "Boy, Grenada, a real good thing, you know." He say, "I get all the wire I want, positive and negative." He say, "When I reach back there, I'll get more people to come down and buy wires, you know." So there is a business he opening for people to come and get and buy the wires, you know. So Kim, just thanks for your positive wire. You have your shop business nice.
All right, I hear you.
I want to give one short little joke again.
Yeah.
This man, he plainly deaf. So he was in the company with this young lady. The young lady go in the right ears and she say, give me a $10 now." He say, eh? He plainly don't hear what she say. She go in the next ears. She say, "Give me a $50 now." He say, "No, come back in the $10 He plainly right. So anyhow, I have a good evening and big up to our Prime Minister, and remember, still tongue keep a wise head.
That's so true.
Alright.
So true. So
Alright.
true. So true.
Okay,
Word of
bye-bye.
wisdom. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Well,
I already left A, you know.
yeah.
Cheaper.
Keeper?
Yeah.
Tell me in my left
The back on the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about, this press conference, Solio. I listened to the press conference and I'm so shocked to see the behavior of Simon Says. She went in, I don't think she understands what a press conference is. She doesn't. She maybe think, based on her behavior, in my view, she's in a courthouse and you have like a lawyer questioning a defendant or claimant or something of the nature. You know, word for word, ask a question, rebut you, and whatever. In a press conference, the behavior is different. You might make a little statement before you ask a question quickly. But you make a statement just as to let them know exactly where you're coming from, and then you ask a question. She ain't asking no question. She just took over in it, and to me it was so embarrassing, eh?
Well,
so embarrassing.
Again, modus operandi. That's the style. You know,
Yeah,
when I can get over or when I have nothing of substance to say.
That's so ridiculous, and everybody, and not even that. I saw some comments where they say, "Boy, those ministers made a pie out of her," you know, whatever, you know, things like that, because she doesn't understand, and she went into the press conference, right, asking them to respond to rumors. How could you ask somebody to respond to rumor?
Allegations, man.
The allegations.
Well, you know, she was really asking that Jenny go there to settle a score. You know, it's like, last week you donkey go in my garden, and I come prepared to be cussed with you. You understand? That's all, and it's just sad. And these people, when you see you have that kind of mentality, and some time ago they've been giving us some viewings, so that put some gas in her tank, and she really believed that she has arrived.
Oh boy!
Yes, and I will some power now, so I could make these boys in them look small.
Yeah, but
you know, someone I think when I didn't listen it live, but I went back and listened to it, and I realized what was happening. So I quickly said, let me go and try to understand what the word rumor means. So you're coming to me on the basis of a rumor, yes, and demanding of me to explain to you what you're saying based on the rumor.
Answer the question.
And listen, so I went and look at the word, and I hope others, listeners, would also try and understand the word. According to the dictionary, that's the Oxford Dictionary, rumor is a piece of information or a story that people talk about, but that may not be true. So if you're approaching a question, in the case of our press conference, you are beginning on the foot of saying that I ain't sure if it's true enough, but I want you to explain it. Explain what? Explain if it's true or not true.
Ridiculous.
I mean, so I mean, it is interesting.
But the thing about
very,
it too
very interesting, yeah,
is that Ron keep asking her, listen, ask a question. Ask a question.
But she wants to stay on that question.
It is rumored, and you got the question the other night, you didn't answer it really, that you're involved in a bribery case with the contractor of the Cliff Road project. Switch for the contract, 100,000. I'm going to get it right. The lady did not get it right the other night. She said 150. It was 115. 100,000 in your hand and 15,000 to fix your pickup truck. It is rumored, and you got the question the other night, you didn't answer it really, that
I mean, the thing's so ridiculous.
What is the question? It is rumored?
It is rumored, yeah. It is rumored. So you have to respond to the rumor now. Let me take a call. Hold on. I prefer to take a call and respond to a rumor like that. Vibes FM, caller, come in.
Good afternoon, Brother Kim.
Yeah, good afternoon, yeah.
Good afternoon to the panel. Salio.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
And Brother Asbot.
Go ahead, yeah.
How is everything going, everybody?
Everything is fine, man.
Fine and dandy.
Lovely. Concerning with Jenny Simon. Jenny Simon is an arrogant person because based on her expression, the way she expressed herself, you could have seen she was arrogant about expressing herself and asking the question. Number two, I don't know how did Jenny Simon get the opportunity to go in there as a journalist. I don't know if she was a journalist or or she was just, I don't know, because I know she have a platform. I know she have Simon said she have a platform on YouTube and I think Facebook as well, saying the platform is Simon Says. And just like how Jenny Simon is operating on she platform and then talking about it's alleged and nothing with facts. Everything she say on she program, everything she say on the program is the same way she come and she say it is alleged to the General Secretary, that is Minister Andy Williams for MIT, and which by he made it clear he don't sign off on any contracts. This permanent secretary signs off on contracts, and she continues to go on and go on. The PRO, which is Ron Redhead, Minister Ron Redhead, made it clear. He said, Jenny, state your question. If you cannot state your question, then you don't wrap up. So my point is, Jenny Simon is a very arrogant person. You could see it in the way she asked the question. And while she asked the question, and I guess as much the PRO was in charge, he was in charge of the moderator, so he was in control of that. So he was telling her, Jenny, ask the question, and she going back and forth. So I don't think Jenny went there for good intention, because if you look at she media platform, when she do her lives on YouTube or whatever, you can definitely tell that she didn't went there for good intention. She went in there for a battle, and I think the Honorable Andy Williams put her in she damn place.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So thank you.
Okay. Right. Listen again.
I recognize just one question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right.
See, he says, because she's not known to be a journalist. Okay. So in my view now, the way she behaved, in her view, was, the appropriate way. But this was a press conference for journalists, the media, for them to get involved and ask questions. But she just decided that she was going to bulge in, maybe, as Ron was saying, are you a journalist or you are or whatever, let us know so this way we could, address you. And that's what took place. But the idea is that, in my view, she was laughed at over and over and over again by everybody, not just those days in the press conference, but everybody was listening.
It is rumored.
Yeah, it is rumored. That's all she keeps saying, rumors and allegations. Let's just do a little bit more.
Recognize just one question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right. So I recognize Sister Jenny Simon. I don't know what media house Simon says. I just asking general. All right, sure. Go ahead.
Citizen representing the citizen that's folding.
All right. Go right ahead.
So I'll start with you, MP Ron. How's the studies going?
Studies is going well. Master's degree plus politics is not an easy thing, and you work as hard as you can to achieve it.
Wonderful, wonderful. You spoke of the press conference is party. It's about party. Yeah. Okay, so then the achievements that especially MP Tevin Andrews spoke of in Carriacou, are they achievements of the NDC party or the government of Grenada?
They are achievements of the government of Grenada, the National Democratic Congress administration.
Okay, so then we open up now. It's of the government of Grenada. So we can move there, right?
No. No. To be quite fair, it was about. I was basically talking about the promise that we made, or the campaign promises that we.
And who fulfilled the promise? The government of Grenada, right?
Just give me 1 minute. I'm just simply saying that we have a manifesto, local manifesto, and an overall manifesto, and we spoke about the things that we hope to achieve. So, in celebration of the 3 years in office, we're basically saying that we have said that we are going to accomplish X if you, the people, give us an opportunity, and here we are reporting to you 3 years later that we have delivered.
Let's not waste time on this. My question is, gentlemen,
let me give
the achievements you spoke of, are the achievements
Of
of
the
the
government?
NDC party
Or the
or
government?
achievements of the government of Grenada?
So, Sister Jenny, let me just say this. You can proceed to ask your question
Ask your
and we will
question now.
respond accordingly.
Right. Thank you kindly. Because I need to find out from Minister Tevin. You said 150 Build Back Better houses?
Build Back Better, social development, and prefabricated homes.
Also, I want to know about the Build Back Better houses.
Mhm.
How many Build Back Better houses in Carriacou? And Pitimatnik separately?
Both Carriacou and Pitimatnik, we're looking at approximately 70 Build Back Better homes.
17?
70.
70.
Yeah.
Total?
Total.
No, can you just tell me how much in Pitimatnik, for instance?
In Pitimatnik, there is, I believe there is 6 or 7 Build Back Better homes.
Build Back Better.
Yeah.
Delivered.
Under construction.
So none delivered in Pitimatnik?
No, they are about 90% completed.
It's not delivered. It's being completed.
It's being completed, yes.
Right. And in
11 months after.
Carriacou, how many delivered? Because I've been following you when you hand out your keys.
Yeah, we actually handed over one on Saturday. I can't recall the exact amount that was delivered so far, but I know for a fact it's over 10.
Okay. Now we're talking. All right. I just wanted to know because it's being jumbled and I'm not sure. It has so many different housing projects. Project 500, Project Build Back, Project...
Well, Sister Jenny, you could proceed with the question.
Ask your question.
Let me take my time. If you need to stop me, then stop me for good.
I wouldn't stop
I
you.
get cut off the other night
I wouldn't stop you.
on
So
the
you can
headline.
proceed with the questions.
I all right with that, right?
Yeah.
So that with my brother here, Tevin, you spoke about roads, and roads you don't count roads as an achievement really. It's just something that the government's supposed to do.
I never said that.
What you said?
I said.
But I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not quoting.
Well, please paraphrase properly.
I can't. It means the same thing. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I basically said that that's government responsibility, and we're just fulfilling our mandate.
Right, government responsibility. I have on record you being asked about roads, about the achievements of the former MP at Carriacou when you were in opposition, and you saying that all they did was roads, basically, and you're saying here this morning that the roads they were neglected for years.
That's a press conference. That's the way a journalist. I mean,
well, you could use all kind of ways to get information that you want to get, but of course, certainly this line of questioning here is more than just trying to get information. This is trying to, it seems to come with some kind of ulterior motive, really and truly. You could ask questions, you could quiz them as much as you want, and so on and so forth. But I think the protocol there was not the best.
You called a line of question, I called a line of negative statements.
That's all she was doing. Yeah, but that's it.
What's allegation? What is this?
Allegation. We will get to the party Andy just now. Hold on. Vibes FM, caller, come in.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Can
good
you hear me?
afternoon. Yes, I'm hearing you. Yes.
Okay, great. 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. Give me a moment, please. I'll be right there. Okay. Lord, word be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Last week, I was having a little trouble finding the station, but later I found out you had some electrical problem. And I landed on a station, and actually I thought maybe, I said to myself, well, maybe you have a guest. And they were talking religion. And one of the questions that was asked, or a statement that was made was, if this country, if the teachers in this country could be trained by the church to be more spiritual, we will have a better country. But I'm not sure if this station was from Grenada or from someplace else.
Someplace else.
Someplace else, right. Okay, so I like to make a statement about that because that's important. What we can do here in Grenada is that give the teachers, like they have a lunch period, whether it's 45 minutes or an hour, try to give the teachers like an hour to deal with spirituality. Like they would have to open up their scriptures, study it together, maybe put them in groups of 10 or something like that. So you could start off by giving them the opportunity during the day to get involved in the scriptures where they talk about it in groups of 10 and then go from there. Now, for the youth parliamentarian. Now, we have a huge problem here in this country with witchcraft. And I hope that the youth are being vetted. And if they are involved in witchcraft, they should not be given the opportunity to run in the race. I mean, they should not be given the opportunity. So I hope that vetting is going on in amongst the youth. And we need to find out about their, I don't know if I missed anything. I was trying to listen to two things at the same time. Their integrity and the moral principles. We need to know about those. We need to know about those things when it comes to the youth. And the third thing is that I like to encourage people, our people, to continue to take good care of themselves. And like I gave a recipe last time that I got from Facebook. I have another recipe that will work really well. Red onion, some big thyme, maybe 5 medium leaves, and some thyme. And you boil that together as a tea, and it will work the same thing as an antibiotic, make your body strong, and build your immune system, remove toxins from your body. So I'd just like to encourage people to do those things. Now, I want to ask one question to anyone there. Would you say that almost everyone, use onions, big thyme, and thyme in soup? Would you say that? Yes? No?
I don't know.
What's the question, please?
Okay. Would you say that everyone, can you put onions, let's say onions, garlic, and thyme in soup? Can you do that?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Mm-hmm.
You guess so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I think most people do that. And the reason I'm saying that is that someone made a comment, and I just want to put that out there just in case they return with the same comment, so that person understands why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay. So thank you very much again. And we have to vet the youth. And okay, one other thing. I'm sorry. One other thing. They were talking about the village getting involved in helping the children. Now, I was in the bus stop when the school let out, and this young boy was singing a song, and it sounds like he was singing, taking God's name in vain in the song, because the song was going, oh my, and over and over and over, and I'm not saying the other word, because then I would be taking it in vain also. So then I walked up to him and I said, can you tell me the lyrics to that song? To that song? He said, well, I don't know. I said, you don't know the lyrics? I said, it sounds like you're taking God's name in vain. He said, what do you mean? I said, if you take the Lord God's name in vain, you will not be held guiltless. So you'll be guilty of taking his name in vain. So well, what does that mean? I said, well, do you know the 10 commandments? He says, no. I said, wait, you go to Bishop's College, right? He says, yes. I said, they don't teach you the 10 commandments in school? He says, no. Then somebody else came in and said, no, yes, they do teach us. So I told him to go to Exodus chapter 20 and read about the 10 commandments. He says, okay, I'll do that. So I just want to encourage us, teachers and everyone, to teach the kids, the importance of learning the Bible, moral behavior, ethics, and values. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next, caller, you're now.
Good.
Yeah, basketball.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Basketman here.
Yes,
go ahead.
Basketman.
I want to call a bit on this just put me to call. Which is spirituality. Western civilization spirituality and the Bible the Holy Bible, the big book, tell her that for me, please. And everybody here deal with Obia because Obia run because the world have put the Bible and the Jesus story. Tell her to open to the these lady people are talking about Obia. Them is the king of hope. Them don't deal with Obia alone. You know, they like to put you in slavery. The Bible, the Holy Bible, is a slave book. And we'll get to know about that more so coming up because Africa is being open to the world now. And everybody's supposed to get to know what's going on and forget this Western civilization slave book, the Bible. We have talked about Mr. Jones. Good afternoon. Mr. Coy, I heard somebody call ask what the visa got in.
I didn't hear that. Could you say it again, please?
All right, so here.
No,
there is some young surrogates going wrong, like Mr. Miss Japal. There is some young surrogates. Miss Japal and
Caller.
Bad connection.
And they want to come to, they say they're coming to help Grenada. Mr. Diali is one. He coming to help Grenada. Do what? I wonder if these people was here when Kit Mitchell was running Grenada. And Emlyn Pierre. Emlyn Pierre would never be a prime minister in Grenada until she died. They have to get to know that. They have to help Grenada. I said the Diali guy was running for this, want to run for this song. What world are he in? He was not there when the 20 years of Kit Mitchell rule and see all the wickedness was going on. And Emlyn Pierce says that she is going with the ideals of NNP. So what new could they bring when they had the money already? Them don't care about poor people. They only care about themselves. Them don't care about Grenada. Them don't care about Grenada at all. Grenada is out of their comprehension. All they're doing looking for is power, wickedness in the mind alone. And the Bible, what they're using is for Obia. I'm telling all you, Obia. And all you have to get to go on the internet and get to know that Africa has been opened up to the world and see where they cheat and rob everything and turn it around, turn all these stories around. I just didn't mark it down. And bring it down to Western civilization to enslave nigger. You don't see the man in Africa talking about freeing the people because of what they did to us for 500 years into slavery. And we cannot come out in slavery as long as we deal with the Bible. The Bible is a pure slave book. Mr. Kaya, thank you for listening to me. And Joseph, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. We have some real tough
philosophers.
Yes, we have the whole issue about Obia, the whole issue about now this caller is saying that what the Bible is going to do. Of course early on we had some the press conference that was
No, before then I can give an explanation.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money that is flowing among the supporters of the NP. But I suspect a lot of desperation is included in that. And some people, to vent their frustration, will stop at nothing. So because I don't understand, how is it that somebody so fickle could be so righteous? You're a Rolling Stone is gathering no mass. It was NDC today, TGM tomorrow. No, I don't know. No, it's
waiting.
Who?
I say you don't know where they are?
Well, I know they might go with the movement, it depends on how the cash flowing. And you just leading good people down the road. Why are we doing that? Who? By the way, understand Lacret is doing his party too?
Well, Lacret,
Yeah,
Lacret just
PNP.
formed his own party here. PNP.
Yeah.
Which was no?
People's National Party. PNP. And he's going to be running in the constituency of North
Northwest.
Northwest.
That's Keith Mitchell.
Yeah.
So Keith wanted to try something. If he gave, even though he lost, he wanted to get a win.
Well, I don't know.
Is he a surrogate?
Well,
one of them?
I think, I mean, when I saw the announcement of Lacrette being forming a party, I was basically shocked. But after I sit back to analyze it, he has no place going, you know. He has no in other words,
he's not the only one.
Well, no, but what I believe happened. This is my view. This is what I believe happened. You see, when he was with the NDC, he was very good. He was looked upon. He was, recognized, and he had something good going with the NDC. But then they broke ties with the NDC. Then he can go to the NNP, and he wants to be in the mix. He wants to be in the mix.
Doesn't that sound familiar, or doesn't that look familiar?
It sounds familiar.
Okay.
To my good friend.
Say no more.
Say no more.
Say no more. I don't want.
I call no name.
What disease?
Yeah.
That is
But
one of those guys.
that's what happened to most of them. In other words, now you feel like you were there and now you're not there anymore, but you want to be there.
Yes, they don't know.
But you don't have no place to go.
They don't know when they lose their relevance.
No.
Yes, you must know. Come out, hit the road.
That's it.
Say your prayers, put your pajama and go to bed.
That's
Come out
it.
in the paper thing.
Yeah. And so this is what's going on now with guys like him. Vibe FM, color comment. Color.
Thank you very much. Pleasant good afternoon. Thank you very much again and pleasant good afternoon.
Yeah.
A bit baffled or maybe confused to a certain extent because I am here trying to see how I can recuperate myself, how I can live kind of a relaxed with the happenings, what is currently taking place. But the country is so filled with wrongs that has become the norms. And I'm not too concerned. I'm not too, it's a bit confused. I am on the side of the road here. Well, where I live in is called Loreland. The road is Dixon, not Dixon, but Dixon Road. All right, and that's about probably 200 yards that I'm operating on, doing what you would call travel work. Now, there are most people that pass and see me. There was a lady who actually catch me and put me up on some social media, or as the case may be, as what she said or whatnot. Travel work is what I'm doing. I use the whole time word under the Gary days, travel work, The lady spoke about the Bible, and then the gentleman literally criticized the lady just the same. Mr. Rollo spoke here, and of course, again, this is one of Grenada's brain. And we have to understand the Constitution. And to be frank with you, as I said, it is written, it is well documented that this Constitution is nowhere in our way that we're still using it. I mean, the good one read it, tried to tell me that, well, the wrong that has become the norm, and we are practicing it, so nothing wrong with people on practicing it. And then, well, he mentioned again that they are not in the business for pleasing people or to please people. But again, as I'm saying, the lady spoke on the Bible there, and I personally, they say, you're born with a gold spoon in your mouth. This is a talk I was hearing for a long, long, long time. You're born with a gold spoon in your mouth. When I was born, before I was born, a will was prepared. And my godfather, who was also the executor to that property, to those property, which I still don't own at this point in time. Unfortunately, he died or whatnot. And there's a struggle between us. Two lawyers tell me to go and acquire it. I'm speaking in a sort of a kind of way because I'm mixing it up and down. I hope people kind of get the message. Our Prime Minister, and of course he's our Prime Minister, right? He's elected, and he drove past on this road on Tuesday. Well, unfortunately, I don't know. I haven't seen this gentleman before the elections or even after the elections. Well, let me tell you one thing that I'm disappointed with this NDC administration. Just after the elections, a gentleman, well, I made a mistake because when I saw the guy in the road, I thought it was a woman. I mean, he appeared to be a woman. So I made the mistake and I said, oh, who is this beautiful lady? And unfortunately, I had to apologize to him because it was a man. Anyhow, he came into the veranda and we were speaking. He pulled a form and he started asking me questions. One or two of the questions that he asked me was, did I vote and who did I vote for? From then, I am disappointed with this president and this. I don't know if they set him up to ask these particular questions. No, I heard someone talking about a form and for whatever scholarships and whatnot, etc. And they comparing in the past the question, the questionnaire, and in this present time the questions, the questionnaire, and whatnot, etc. So I hope you all will kind of, Mr. Coy. I don't know you as the human rights gentleman, and I am still in a situation here where my property, well, I have not been compensated according to the Claims Commission. And as I said, the state owes me over $100,000 because I was asked to put in a claim for what I lost and my time in the prison during the revolution. I would like that this present administration look at the Constitution and try to amend. That is one of the first things. I am not against the, what is it, Polaris or Polaris? I don't know, I can't remember. I am not against a new hospital. But my thing is, upgrade all of the facilities all around the island, all along, Carriacou, PD, Martinique, upgrade. So then we don't have to really rush to the general hospital with all of the problems that we have to be congested. You follow? So I hope my messages are kind of clear. I've mixed it up all around.
Yeah.
But Mr. Coy, I hope you will try to see how much you can. I have some documents that I can send to you if you would like me to do that for you, because I am in need. I am doing travel work. When I'm finished with the travel work, I'll strap my seat cushion on my bottom and go into my lands, and I still haven't gotten any funds or any form word from the Ministry of Agriculture pertaining to the burial relief fund which I had put in. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next caller, thank you for it. Oh, okay, the caller's gone. All right, yeah.
Yeah, it seems as though the last caller, I mean, he's been making these pronouncements and claims and so on for a while now. Each time he speaks, he seems that he believes and he wants to raise the concern about the fact that he hasn't gotten anything. I knew him from way back when, but I think there's a better way rather for this problem to be solved. Dialogue. And he can speak well. He articulates. So I think it is important that he takes the right approach to speak with the people who can assist with redress for his problem. And I would want to, if I have the opportunity to, and if you are listening, sir, we can talk about it and see how your situation can be improved. So of course, I know some of the challenges that you have, even what you have said. Like he drags himself. But I think it can be solved. Dialogue. Let's talk about it, because there are a lot of times we think we know how to solve problems, by ourselves. But if we dialogue and look at some of the options and what is the problem really, I think we can handle it.
Okay, Vibes FM. Caller coming. What's the caller?
Good afternoon, King.
Yes, good afternoon.
Mr. Coffee.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Leo.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Yeah, thanks. Good, thanks. Thanks.
All right. Okay, you guys was mentioning about the conference yesterday. All right, so let me just dissect that second. All right. Okay, we gotta realize, all right. I get no feedback on my phone.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Okay, let me look over the weekend. All right. We see the launch of PNP. All right. Monday night again.
we know Andy was on, right? On Beyond the Headlines, right? Then there goes Jenny, right? And then we have to go back to the relationship that she had with Laco, right, from the PN, all right? And now we have a party PNP. We have to realize where the influence come from. All right, so let me look at Monday. Andy was on, right? You know, Andy is the man that getting things implemented, all right? And so the first thing going to go is the first attack going to be against Andy. All right. Okay, let me fast forward now. Okay, let me look at Wednesday now. The same journey again, who is not even a journalist or representing any media house, whatever. All right, she came there, right? All right, and who she attack again? The same Andy again, right? Because she didn't get satisfaction from the Monday night. All right. Okay, let me look at it like okay, every question that she asked was rumored, whatever. You know what I mean? And I like how Andy and them handle her very well. And I like when Andy came back and then he's talk about people like Jenny, so how we have to look out for them, you understand? But then the problem I had, okay, that was a press conference. And the press conference was to be involve media folks. I mean, I don't think Ron should allow Jenny to ask any question. This is not a town hall meeting. You understand? And then it was not like a quota, because if you realize how she was going, it's like you put somebody on the stand and then you're questioning that person to see if you could get a breakthrough, you know, which he did not get. You know what I mean? So in the first instance, as I said, that was never a town hall. So Ron had to tell Jenny, okay, sorry, Jenny, but this is not a place for you today. You understand? Number one, she had no business being there. You know what I mean? Did she have any ID to show that she represented any media force, whatever? You understand? So then I think with the next meeting that that NDC gonna have, you cannot let something like that happen, because that's a big embarrassment. You understand? Because the whole thing there now is what Jenny planned, you know, is to have a talking point. You understand? A talking point for NNP. You know, because last night Shellans got beat up on it. And then tomorrow we know Andrew going to be a bit up on it. You know what I mean? And then that just going to last for 1 week. But NDC going forward, you cannot let something like that happen. You understand?
Okay.
The media people that you're going to be having there, you have to make sure that you have all the names of the people. You understand? And when you're ready, you call the name who you want. You want to speak at a time, and we see it up here. Leo and Kim, you guys know that whenever you go to like a press conference, they call the names of the people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They say that's what they call the name.
And
so
you ask a
NDC have to
question,
get that straight.
but the way
exactly
the way she did it, you know. But I like Andy's response anyway, you know. Andy responded in a way. Yeah,
Andy was very restrained.
Yeah, what Andy really did there, you know, he answered properly and put her in a place in a respectable way. That's what he did. Right, Colin? Yeah.
Okay, what I like again, I like the fact when Andy said, let me teach you something. Because I was a teacher and I didn't get time to teach as much as I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, that was really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that bring her back down into the class. So then what we got to realize now that these people are them, because okay, let me look at Jenny for instance, right? Remember, Jenny not going to go for NNP. All right? Jenny have issue with Peter David from the time it Nazenbach with Tillman Thomas. All right? But where else Jenny going to go? Patrick Antoine tried something, it didn't work. Jenny was in that party, it didn't work.
Didn't she mention she was a NDC card member for 28 years or something of the nature?
For 28 years.
And she still is?
You'll be 28 years, she said.
Yes.
Yeah, short stint was in TGM. Oh, it's TGM? Yes, TGM.
Yeah. Right.
But one of the things again, Kim, we got to realize what they're trying to hold on. You remember they mentioned about the 150 houses and things. So she was going to Tevin now. And for Tevin to give a kind of number, then she will look and come back to Andy and say, well, Andy lied on the night. You understand? But it's a good thing that the numbers correspond. You realize what went on?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I listened to it, and I realized exactly where she was going and what she was trying to do. But in my view, she was. I can't find a word to describe.
Okay, cool. Let me just touch on the job. Okay, just give me 30 seconds just for the job.
Okay.
All right. The Prime Minister said, all right, concerning the job. He said, okay, basically, you don't have no problem people playing job. You don't play in the past or whatever. Basically, he's saying it's not a problem. Okay, it's just a little bit too early, as he said, and then he said playing on the street. Okay, NNP talking point was that the Prime Minister tell and say that he's going to ban job.
Yeah.
And then they have the PTR now with the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister did play job. All right. But we got to realize when the Prime Minister played job, it was a Monday Carnival, right? The Prime Minister didn't play
Jab 2 months
maybe
before.
about a week
Or 2 months before.
2 months before, whatever. You understand?
Yeah.
And then Kim, I don't know if you remember, right? Like back in the days, people do play job, but they didn't play with the tar and the thing. In the night, okay, let me say about a week or 2 or 3 weeks before Carnival, they used to have the drum beating and people passing on singing the yay song, the job. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Chutney will, the Chutney will do the same thing, come down with the band and everything, and they do that for the practice. They didn't have job, like every event is a job, a christening is a job, a baby shower is a job. No, we got to stop that.
Yep, I quite agree.
That's all we know. But the guys who were promoting this job, and I think I remember one organizer saying they'd like to see a total job display come Carnival, let job dominate everything. And so that Grenada would become the land of the job, and everybody will be coming down to Grenada to be part of this job thing. I don't know. I think there's a time and a place and for everything, and anything that you do, we should do it in moderation. But when you go ahead and do all this kind of foolishness, defacing people's property, and I tell you what, if you don't stop it now, you only get worse, So we have to.
It will.
Yeah.
All right. And I got something to say to you guys again. Last night I listened to Kit Mitchell, and that question was asked to him about the job. And he said, well, during COVID, when I said no job, they went and they played job. But he said that he think they should be responsible, and he did not support the notion of playing job on the street right now. And I was a bit surprised to hear he saying that. Anyway, how is the weather by you guys?
Well,
nice and warm.
Nice, man. Nice. I guess you're getting good weather now too. You into June already, right? So the summer is there.
Well, we're getting 84 today, so tell you I want to see him up here.
Yeah, I'm coming soon. Coming soon.
84 in the day, and how much you getting in the evening? You ain't dropping.
Okay, it might go down to this few days we get in the 80s, and then say it might go down, like we said, about 60 something.
Okay. All right.
Something because it's humid today. Today is very humid.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, so we talk later, guys.
Okay,
thanks.
Enjoy. Join us soon.
Okay.
Okay, my friend.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Of the former MP at Carriacou when you were in opposition, and you saying that
trying to get it part where Andy came in.
Okay.
For referring to the previous administration. So is either you referring to them totally or not?
Well, I don't know if I spoke of the former administration. What I said is that the roads are being neglected.
Okay, I neglected the roads.
Well, roads are being neglected, and we are fixing it.
Okay, I'll leave that with you because I'll be in Carriacou next week, as I told you.
Sure, no problem.
So
look forward to
I'll
you.
leave you.
She coming up?
No, can't be serious.
The MP for the Great South.
The Great South, correct.
Like my boss said, what for? What's your
I know.
When you at the beginning of your presentation, you spoke of integrity, NDC and integrity and so. And I know from being in NDC for it would have been 28 years this year.
Really?
Come back home.
It's not too late.
A card-bearing member, somebody who pays subs and things, because a lot of people are NDC people on Facebook and so on. They don't pay no subs. They don't contribute to the NDC.
That question?
This year would
Ask
make
the
would have made
question.
28 years. So I know of the core values of the NDC, and integrity is one of the core values.
Correct.
It is rumored.
It is rumored.
And you got the question the other night, you didn't answer it really, that you're involved in a bribery case with the contractor of the Cliff Road project. Switch for the contract, 100,000. I'm going to get it right. The lady did not get it right the other night. She said 150. It's 115. 100,000 in your hand and 15,000 to fix your pickup truck. Are you, sir, denying that?
What?
No. First of all, let me just see this, Miss Simon or Mrs. Simon.
No, it's Miss.
But Miss Simon, and I want to watch you in your eyes, right? Because I've heard you made these accusations on your show a number of times. And frankly, I'm not one who will run about and wasting my time to deal with these petty issues that have been rumored.
Are you calling bribery petty? Because bribery is a crime.
Give me a chance to answer the question, please.
And no, because
I gave you a chance to speak.
Okay.
Give me my chance to speak. Thank you, right?
I hope I'll get the time to come back.
No problem, ma'am.
Okay.
No, anything I do it with full transparency. And exactly what you're saying there, it is completely false. Okay? And I've heard you made mention that a minister signing a contract. I want to educate you. In 1997, I started working by teaching. And I want to teach you something here today. A minister doesn't sign a contract. It's a permanent secretary that will sign a contract. Now, frankly, the Cliff Road was done under the Ministry of Infrastructure. My ministry is the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. So let me just go further, right? And I'm speaking to you, and I want to watch you in your eyes to speak to
And
you.
I'm watching you in yours too.
Good. Because, when we enter politics, we understand that, and I've had it, people will say all sorts of things about you. And as a politician, you have to broaden your back. But Ms. Simon, when you do things like that, you know what you do to our young people? You discourage them from even wanting to get involved in politics. Because, someone who wants to give back to their country meaningfully, when they hear your tone and the way how you get on with these things, they may just be discouraged. And, and you're not doing a good for the country. No, the reason why I don't respond to these things is because my constituents did not elect me to take on these foolish rumors that you're making. They elected me to take care of them. And I tell you, if you look at a dictionary and you look for the word focus, you will see Andy Williams. I'm not distracted by these things, never distracted. And I say, do no evil, fear no evil. That's my motto. So I just saying that you can go ahead and make all these allegations and so I will not respond because that is not why I was elected into office. I was elected to serve the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique, and to serve my constituents, not to respond to these foolish rumors that you are making. And I'm saying it in the most respectful manner.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you.
All right. Let me take a call. Vibes FM, caller, thank you for waiting. Caller, come in.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Coy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So Leo.
Yes.
And of course you, Mr. Kim. I just want to add my few cents to what I think happened in that press conference with Jenny Simon. Jenny is looking for attention.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
He is disillusioned. Like Peter David, she went from one party to the next. I'm suggesting that she offer up herself as the Minister of Propaganda for either Peter or Laco. Well,
Okay.
because she's doing a good job. She's doing a good job for the NNP. Right now, she's confused. She's not sure which party to join. Because like Peter, she looking for relevance, right? Let's look at the questions. Well, before I say that, let me just say she is not a news person, a journalist. So she had no right in that thing. I am not sure whether we should blame Ron and the rest of them for her being there. I'm not sure. But she was given an opportunity. And to me, she displayed her total and utter ignorance in public. What a pity. I don't think she realized that people all over the world is listening and hearing the foolishness that she get on with. You notice her attitude? When she got dressed down by Minister Williams, you could see the nervousness in her, right? And I want to say to them, anytime they have a press conference, make it clear that it is a press conference for journalists. I'm not sure that we have journalists in Grenada, with the exception maybe of Callistra, you know? But the rest of them, I would encourage, as I said the other night, I would encourage MWAG to send these people to a good journalism school so that they could learn the ways. In the meantime, I want to encourage those that call themselves, and I want to use Mr. Rulo's words, so-called journalists. I want to encourage them. Look at 60 Minutes to see how a proper interview is done. Look at some of those, like on CNN, you know, MSNBC, ABC, these kinds of stations, to see how a proper interview is done. Jenny is a bacchanalist, and that's who she is, and that's what she is. She depending on that kind of gutter talk to make a living, right? Because if she didn't do that, she can't work nowhere else. She has proven that over the years. The Jenny I see today is not the Jenny I knew back in the 1990s. That's not the Jenny. Something is wrong. As a matter of fact, I would suggest she go and get a mental health check. Yeah? She needs some medication, man. You know? Because she's overdoing the matter. She have a program on I think it's Thursdays, to run her mouth, and she does that. I don't see why she has to be part of what is a press conference for journalists, not for bloggers. That's for bacchanalists. And when they have the next one, I hope if she's there, they ask her nicely to excuse herself or get her escorted out. You know, because all she's doing is sowing seeds of discord. She's being paid to do that, right? And as I say, she's not sure whose bandwagon she should jump on now. If it's Laco, if it's Peter, if it's Keith. But she get hooked in Keith's web already because he paying his salary. He keeping her on the air.
Okay.
Right? So, again, a word to the wise is enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, there. Next caller. All right, okay.
You know, the we have to be very careful. Yes, the last caller said he is paying her salary.
Yes.
We don't want to be responsible for that because we don't know that. Caller, we appreciate what you're saying and you're interested in participating, but let's be careful. Same thing we talk about rumors. Even though you avoid it, let's not spread rumors or deal with allegations. Kim.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jay. Yeah, because I heard that too, and I was going to make a comment on that, but you just did it there for me. You know?
Okay.
Because we have to be careful. You see, the thing about rumors, you know, a rumor is a rumor, and I personally don't respond to a rumor, and it doesn't make any sense because you know it's not factual, not at all. But some people sometimes they dwell on rumors. In other words, like they like this kind of negative, you know, whatever been said negative.
KB and Bacchanal.
That's what they are.
That's what it promotes and encourages.
Lately, I've been looking at the cheerleaders for NNP. The kind of people that are doing what they're doing. And well, I know that those folks must come cheap because they don't have too much knowledge. So, but you know, it's so damaging, and to our youth in particular. I hope we could do better than that, boy. It's going too far.
Yeah. But that's it. But no, Laco just launched. But the surprising thing about it, though, he launched the party, or he announced that the party would be. He didn't officially launch it, I think.
But
he did.
The announcement was the launch.
Was the launch? Okay, right. Okay, right. So let me get it straight. But why did he take it off the Facebook? Why did he take it off? There
might be internal issues.
Because you can't find it again. It's no longer available. It was up for about 3-4 days thereabout, and now it's been taken down. Now, if you are serious and if you have something of value, you wouldn't take it off. You look to even improvise on it and make and do more.
I wonder which party Lacro, if he wins, might want to be his opposition. I wonder if he prefer Kito the NDC.
Well,
if he wins, is that a rumor? If he wins, he alone enough. He may win.
Well, I guess he might be announcing candidates or launching candidates over the next year thereabout to get the campaign going.
And if Toby and go with Lacroix, he might have another party again.
That's Kim. That's Kim Fred.
No, Toby not going. He ain't going.
Yeah, okay, you say? Okay, he's speaking.
No, he's not going. He's not going to form any party now. He might piggyback on a party or support somebody, but
sometimes you just put up yourself to a lot of scrutiny, you know, because I know how you want to be him to be PRO, but go ahead.
He's speaking for him. Yeah. On his behalf. He said no, he's not going.
Hey, you got to be PRO.
Yes.
But now you're going to have PNP and the movement with Peter David. He didn't launch it yet, did he? Not to my knowledge.
Peter launched already.
He launched?
By calling the name alone.
And they give the symbol and everything too? The Grenada movement, part of the movement.
But this is becoming a puppy show. Where does that leave Super Flint come? Because and Silver Flint has some.
He's a candidate for I'm hoping.
Hold on, guys. Listen, I want to believe that. All right. I was to call Super Flint, you know, because my good friend, and we communicate a lot, you know. I just keep forgetting. But I believe that someone must have generated that story, and put it up there. Not Super Flint. No, I don't think so. No.
He flew. He flew today.
Because you have the CHG
change for hope.
Change for Caracol and Peter Matnick. Change for CH.
Change for hope.
GCP.
Greener Caracol Peter Matnick.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
GCP.
And that's where his picture is, you know, like.
Oh, you have to do that.
Yes. In fact, he's been announced as a minister for the constituency.
They just threw up a poster. I don't believe that. And look where they put him to run in Northwest. Because Northwest seemed to be this kind of yeah. So so that's what they did. They put him to run in Northwest, and they put well, Laco is in Northwest. Then you have Diablo in Northwest. And then NDC will have a Northwest too.
GLP certainly will have.
That's 5.
Oh boy. No, this thing is
This
becoming.
This upcoming election is going to be I call it the mother of election.
No, a lot of them will survive until election.
Well, I thought it's
no. I know even though they pay money.
Well, I was just thinking though. Back in 1995, didn't we have about 5-6 of them too? Morris Bishop Patriot Movement, MBPM, yes, GOLP, TNP.
In
NDC.
95?
Yes, 95, yes.
Fleury didn't run that year. No.
Independent?
No, Fleury run.
95?
He run
95.
He running as a GLP in 95, yeah. I remember that. So there were quite a number of them, and then the NNP won 7, right? And then we had the rest of the other parties splitting up the other 8, and that's when you had the 2 joining.
And then we had one of them.
Go over to
NNP,
right?
So they can form the party.
Right. So that's what we had in 95. All these parties running there, and now again it looks like though we're going to have.
Might have more, might have more because everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants to
be the prime minister.
Well, I think they understand the issue about being a prime minister. When you look at the work that has to be done, you involved in a global movement where, as the prime minister, you have to be bouncing heads with other international leaders. So it requires, somebody who is astute and somebody who can think well and articulate.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that they're only thinking about a community. Because to hold that position, it's not just a matter of saying, leg and make it all done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't look at it so.
Poor Grenada. Everybody wants the idea, which is no idea, to prevail. Where does that leave us?
No idea.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we have no ideas.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine just the other day, who had a conversation with the representative from the St. David's, Miss Thompson, whatever her name is, yeah.
Sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, you said sacrificial lamb, yeah, okay. But he said to me, he was shocked and surprised because she is convinced that she could win the seat of St. David's by a landslide.
Confident. Well, I know about this landslide thing. What with what the investment that the prime minister is making there, creating that opportunity for people, especially the young people, building communities, engaging them. I think, winning might be an ambitious thing, but talk about landslide.
You mean she could win?
By some impossible means?
I know.
Are you sure you
No. Don't say, ask me if I'm sure.
No, not sure, but I mean, you're speaking in your right mind, right? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
You're not a Jenny right now, right?
No.
The sacrificial lamb?
Yeah.
You're joking, man. Come on, God. I mean, really. People like you, those mislead people, Yes.
No.
If they only hear you, they will feel good. At least.
Well, if they want to hold on to hope, that is false. I mean, that is not.
I wonder which constituency is the girl representing, the one, the not so kosher one, in Kaku.
Well, she launched in about 13, 14, maybe all the constituencies already. I guess she might run in Carriacou.
Running in Carriacou or run from Carriacou?
Well, no, because she's basically known here, grew up here, I think.
And that's the party that Superprince is affiliated with?
No, that's not the one where they put. Oh, yes. That's where they put him. That's what they put in.
Change for hope.
Change for hope for
Yes,
goodness.
you have to line for me, please.
Huh? Get him live.
Yes.
Get him one now.
Vibes FM. Vibes FM. Lana caller come in.
Hello, good afternoon to
Yes.
your panelists.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling on behalf of what I heard pertaining to the press conference with Jenny Simon and the Right Honorable Andy Williams. She always have something against Andy. I don't know what is the problem against Andy Williams. She always have a problem against him. I don't know, it's because she envy he's doing well down in the south. I don't know why she problem. She's bad market. Bad market. That's what she is. She has to stop them kind of nonsense. I love my Andy Williams and I love my PM as well. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless Jenny must have a crush on Pandy and you're interested. Because that's the wrath of a rejected woman is not easy, you know.
Yeah.
You see, you're all saying things. You're all saying things that you have to be careful.
What?
You're saying probably she had a crush on him.
Yes.
You never know. You never know.
What?
You mean? Oh, you think somebody could sue me for that?
Yes.
No.
How come?
You're spreading wrong information.
No. Probably.
No.
It's a probability.
No.
Well, come on.
People.
Nothing factual.
Someone is saying that people who wish to ask questions are required to state the media house they represent.
And with the badge on this.
Right. So now, so Jenny didn't qualify because she didn't represent a media house. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the beginning she said she's some kind of what platform? What was it, platform or something like that? Let me see who she when it was asked who she represents. Let me listen to her response.
I recognize just one question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right. So I recognize Sister Jenny Simon.
So
I
did-
don't know
so did
what
she
media
answer
house
that?
Simon says.
Hold on.
I just asking general. All right, sure. Go ahead.
Representing the citizens that's following.
All right.
The citizens. She represents the citizens that
follow her or maybe follow me.
I that part wasn't clear.
Let me see if I could get it again.
We'll come again.
I recognize just one question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right. So I recognize Sister Jenny Simon. I don't know what media house Simon says.
no.
I just asking general. All right, sure. Go ahead.
Representing the citizens that's
Oh,
All right.
I'm a citizen.
All right, then.
I'm a citizen.
Representing
the citizens.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's open.
But that's a media press conference.
Yeah. Well, she asking questions to go back and report to the citizens.
Yeah, but media. She's a journalist or somebody.
She's involved with media activities. I don't know if one can describe it as that, but she is involved. She had a podcast and she needs to source her information. So instead of saying that,
oh, they're making fun of Jenny, you know.
No.
Vibes FM. Caller. Yeah, good afternoon. Yes.
Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
Afternoon to you and your panel there.
Good afternoon.
Kenny, the situation there with Jenny. I think Ron, who in charge there, should never allow Jenny to speak. You know, ask any question because she don't represent no media house.
The eyes have it.
And right when you come in, you just have to say, I don't listen press conference, and they just say, well, so and so they give the name representing from GBN or MTV or whoever. You understand? So knowing that, I think they make a mistake. I don't know if they are so genuine that they want to give a listening ear.
Yeah.
You know. But next time, I hope they don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. You don't represent in a media house. You're not allowed to ask any question because it's not a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
It is a town hall meeting where everybody could come out and you could ask a question. And you could see in the approach, Jenny come out to beat Bacchanal.
Yeah.
You know, she come out to make trouble. She I'm sure she maybe tell one or two of she friends, watch, I go in there, I will give them real trouble. I'm gonna make trouble down there. I'm sure she say that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
She could have go with that intention. So see that she didn't represent in any media house. They should not have given her no listening ear. Just one time as she stand, just say sorry, we cannot have you.
Because when Ron asked her what you represent, MTV, whatever, and she didn't give a response as to the media house she was representing.
She doesn't represent
that was but she did
yeah,
say
she don't represent no media house. So one time I think he should have just tell sorry, I cannot have you on the mic, you know?
Yeah.
And they should have just cut her away one time. You know?
Yeah.
But and I hope they learn from that.
Okay.
So that allow that to happen next time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you all have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
I agree with you.
Next,
Guys have it.
Next caller. Next caller coming. What's up, caller?
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
How are you?
Okay.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm going to tell you, this is a learning experience for the two young men.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate what happened there. It's a learning experience. And I hope they bring Brother Leo in the post-mortem.
Yeah.
You understand the point? I don't know whether he was invited or not, but I don't know how you could come down in a press conference without you, Leo. I just don't understand that. But we all will learn from one thing. But this politics is not so simple. I followed the Trinidad politics a lot in the last round. And Makela Pandey caused Pamela to lose her seat, in the South, where it's a pure Indian base. She took about 900 votes, and PNM won the seat, which is not a usual thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a multiplicity of things fighting, you only need 5 votes to make a difference of a man winning. So nobody had to no people coming in. Everybody has been much more sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And you need a political school. We don't have nobody to have practice school, nobody to have political school. This thing what happened is a big learning experience. I don't want to elaborate too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a big learning thing, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't come down there without these two men, Leo and so forth. And you have to have your clarification. You come there to talk about 3 years in power, and that don't talk about at all.
Yeah.
Your party office, which is your big thing, don't come about at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you give grass to feed the other animals, and which they go to. I mean, and they more a lot now because they realize the crisis. More party come. They know the crisis because they are political experienced people, and bearing in mind, they came from the same genes. Remember, his 2 cousins are there, you know.
Yeah.
The same. This is Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau. You want to tell you?
Yep.
Jacob and Esau. Those people who don't believe in the Bible read the story about Jacob and Esau. And read the story about the building of the wall of Jericho with Zambalat and so forth. Read those, and Tobias, read those stories, because if you don't tell your children those stories, they're going to make the same mistake.
So what about Tobias been around for a long time then?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't know.
You think he just come on?
Tobias has been involved for a long time.
Tobias.
So I just that is what I want to say. All right, thank you. But
Okay.
Don't underestimate nothing, right? And let us learn from mistakes.
Okay.
Let us learn from mistakes.
We get you.
These two young men, they get the exposure.
Okay, I get you.
Because the press. And listen, Leo, you remember about that big case internationally where they filed for much million for a press making, they got the money, you know.
Yeah, they get, yeah? What?
Also, next thing I saw in the Indian Times, the jab, which is our main thing that we call about, a big company take it and make a thing out of it, and then might patent it too. But I won't speak that over here. The jab, a big company in the world take it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We don't patent nothing. We don't believe in the business side of life.
Well,
Let's leave everything like that.
that is how it's still banned. The pan. Yes, that's how come two Americans patented the pan in Washington, you know. Yes. Has been inventors of the pan. It's been running about the belly.
China want to Japan. France went on patent in the first case, and they had to go in one court to remove it and to put it.
Wow.
So when we're talking about our business life, we're losing a lot of opportunities because we take everything just as propaganda and joke and thing. But politics is a big business. When the budget is passed in America, it is passed to give various people, the IMF give that one, this, they give this one. It's the same print tree the money coming from. You understand? The same USA now, the same print tree.
Right.
But they have men who skillful how to chop it and allocate it. Men skills in that, and they go to school for that. So let us not simplify things, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Next caller, landline caller coming.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah.
How do you well?
Okay.
I have some news to speak about today. Yeah. On the phone. On the phone, yeah. I think how to Chata on the street complaining the NDC government waste a lot of money and build sidewalk and culvert covers in St. George's and all these things, and them know they break up and mash up. But I do tell Chata he must come to Grenville to see the 2022 campaign election when Dr. Kid Mitchell campaign, and the bring who is not missing, and they bring who is one to build Grenville sidewalk and culvert. Now, and it was the NDC what they did do this work in Grenville on the sidewalk. All of them be calling and complaining about the culvert falling and this and that. But this is not a good working ground because this was an election gimme in the hands of the NNP. Now, all the culvert is falling, it's breaking down, and people foot is going down because some of the space, the wide, and the narrow, and if people don't be careful in Grenville on the sidewalk, that they will end up in the hospital with a two-step of the NNP campaign election gimme thing. Now, the next thing again, please give me a bit of time. Now, me love my NDC party, and I like my party, but so long I had a better lesson and something is going on around that. I will speak about it. I need people to listen more. It's not the MP, it's not the caretaker, it's not the Prime Minister. Now, the government houses, what the government is building now is the programs. Last someone building my cousin's house. He don't finish the house. He don't finish it. He almost to plaster up the bathroom and thing. But he didn't do it. It is the owner of the house son who do it. Because he is not a carpenter. He is not a construction worker. And again, I don't like what the whole he's going on. Now 2-3 bags of cement left, which he didn't completely work. 2-3 bags of cement left. You know, my cousin talk about the finishing. He took the cement and he gave it to a neighbor, which is a bad by NNP, and he was supposed to do that. He's supposed to leave the 2-3 bags of cement for a man to finish up the bathroom or whatever, you know. So I need the technical to come in and have a look and come and check out this situation in St. Andrews Notice. With this building of his house, which he didn't finish the house, and with the 2-3 bags of cement, he gives it to the neighbor. He is not a caretaker, he is not a senator, he is not a whatever, he's just a local worker. So, my friend, you're wrong of doing that. You're wrong. Don't do it. Take back the 2-3 bags of cement from the person and bring back the cement in demand for him to finish up the job. Because the money don't come from your pocket to buy the cement. This is the program, housing, government, cement, and it was wrong to give people 2 or 3 bags of cement. You're wrong. Go back and take the cement. You're playing with a jail. And also under my name because also is not for the NDC. Go and join the movement, go and join whoever party, go and join the party, and you come out here and we don't miss you. Also people like also what under my name party. And now we have the Maurice Bishop International Airport. We have the Maurice Bishop Highway. Now we have the Granite Highway now, and I need this place to name by Mr. Dick and have this Ganitan highway now. Because we have a highway in Ganitan now with NP never touch, I read they never take, I read they never do. So Mr. Dick has thumbs up to you and I stop to you. have a blessed day. No, we have a Ganitan highway now.
Okay.
Have a good day, Mr. Akin.
Okay, okay, all right, yeah.
You know, I got a wind of that, the Granitan area.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that much work was being done there. Yeah.
a lot of work. The widening of those corners, the widening of the roads. Now you could have easy flow of two-way traffic. Yeah, a lot of work because that started about a month ago, I think.
Yeah, some hairpin corners going that right and going over the hills there, you know.
Yeah, they cut a lot of the corners off. They cut a lot of these rocks and everything like that, widened, so now you could easily see the oncoming traffic.
I mean, you know, see the difference. So much things that have been done for the benefit and the upliftment of the country. Why? Oh boy! All these things, you know, Michelle and the boys couldn't see that.
They weren't concerned. No, honestly, they're not concerned about whatever was going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the priority. I mean, obviously, this administration has a different priorities.
There's so much things to do, so much wrongs to correct. Vibes FM caller, come in. Caller, hello. Yes, hello. Hello. Yeah, caller. You're breaking up. We're not hearing you so well. Could you change your location if possible?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Is that okay?
It's a WhatsApp call. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, hello, yes.
In that conference yesterday, I sorry Kem Jones was in there for Jenny Simon. I would have liked for Kem Jones to be there with Jenny Simon. You know, never bomb out.
Yeah. And you know something, Jenny's getting seasoned in her shamelessness, you know.
The call is still there? Okay, yeah, all right, it's gone. No. I mean, a lot of people are making comments about her, what she did and everything like that. Yeah, but Jenny, I mean, really.
Let's make a guess. How much do you think Jenny's been paid monthly for this?
Come on, that.
Because she's trying hard, you know.
Huh?
Jenny trying hard, you know. Jenny worked it.
No, but I believe the efforts that she's making is because of regrets rather than money. And it's a kind of maybe a vengeance or something that I don't think really money is really involved in there. Because as she mentioned, she was maybe still is a card member, 28 years.
Still the same?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, but those things.
But according to herself, it's rumored that Jenny tried her hands in various businesses and entities. And it's also rumored that she borrowed from Peter to pay Paul. So right now, as far as assets is concerned, you know, so
she had to get from Paul to pay all.
All, yes. And so because of that kind of desperation set in, and no, she cannot rat.
Vibes FM, Lana caller come in.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, yes.
So, Kim and Solio.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to you all. I just want to, say two words. Well, it will be more than 2 anyway. But I was listening and looking and watching situations, watching a lot of things happening, the changes that have been made and so on. I look at the country and look at, the whole atmosphere, you call it transformation. And we know that the NDC, when they campaigned, they promised to have such change, to bring such change in the country. And for that, we appreciate. And as a people, we must have some gratitude, I mean, sometimes you see someone doing well, and we tend to think that they're gonna get well-edited, so we don't want to say, well, okay, praise that person, but it is commonly that praise is commonly for your price. So once you're doing the righteous thing, you deserve the honor, and even the respect too, because I mean, sometimes people disrespect you. The fact that you're right, you become disrespected. So one can ask, well, what do you really have to do to someone for them to jealous you, or to grudge you, to go to the extreme to bring you down, undeservingly? It is very sad, sometimes to see people looking at the truth, cannot praise it. But they're praising all the false and lie and false accusations and so on. Nobody wants to prove truth. And nobody wants to hold fast to the truth in which they know. In other words, the defenders of truth then. Solio.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
The defenders of truth. We shame. Like if you have truth, you have to be shamed.
Yeah.
You can't talk. Someone was saying that, they find that in Korea, the people here don't really talk out. They don't speak out. I tell them, yes, they speak in. And the fact that they speak in is like being hypocrite, I'm hearing back at everything so far. Everybody hating you and you want to know what you do them. You didn't do them anything, but, as a matter of fact, even those you treat well and all. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is to do good, as I said to them, you have to fear God, You have to be a God-fearing person. Because it's him that is able to keep you doing the good. Otherwise, you give up and say, forget it, You pack your bag and you run back to America. Sorry.
Yeah.
But we have to thank God for people who really stand up and make the change. Do something for the benefit of all of us. And we all benefit. They say, well, okay, have you get a work from the government to build back better thing? I said, no, you have people there. I mean, everybody gets something. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, those days, I remember when I was there with the NNP.
PRO for NNP.
The expire retired. PRO, yes, stop it. I didn't get anything at all. Until one day when they do give me something, I catch my NN. Right? So I understand the whole process and experience and so on. So when I see changes and I see good things being done, I will praise it, because the person deserves such honor. And for the government, I want to say thank you very much for what you all are doing, working hard and so on. And remember that jealousy, as I say, starts in heaven. So you have to stand up and face those realities, because you have all kind of hope in this world today that can make you go down a different direction than which is expected of you, even as a human being too. So thank you so much. This is what I want to make my contribute at this juncture.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And to right now, listeners, the telephone number is 443-0101. 443-0101, 403-0101, and also 458-1914. 458-1914. Okay. Somebody just made a comment here, They said, I find all the giving Jenny too much attention. I think they're right, Yeah. Too much. Forget Jenny now. Let's take another call. Vibes FM caller coming.
Yeah, Kim.
Yes.
Yeah, tell Mr. Corey, man. Tell them don't be taking up for Jenny, man. Jenny's a nobody, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Don't be taking up for her?
Yeah.
No, well, I'm not taking up for her.
You think you're maybe trying to defend her or something of the nature?
No. Let me put the record straight. That is not a rumor. I'm saying it. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Now, we're just talking about the number of parties that might be contesting the election. And who is going to be representing or the question was asked, where is Peter David going to be
running?
Running, yeah.
I mean, from
any-
logically speaking, I think he will remain where he won the seat for 5 times. Yes, I mean, I don't think he had to you go anywhere else. He has already built his foundation for the tongue of Saint George. So, I mean, I'm just answering the question. I mean, I think that's where he'll start. He'll start from the capital.
Because the reason why they're asking the question is that they're saying, let me see if I could just go back again, in that he didn't win in St. George's by much.
No.
Well, you see, the system that we have is just one pass to pull, just one. You have to get a landslide to be declared the winner.
So then let me say this next. Who representing the NNP would obviously be getting some votes.
Yes.
From where?
No, I would
New votes?
I would be surprised if the NNP isn't able to seat all 15 candidates, I could very well see the tongue of St. George not being one of them.
No, and I think they have talks already. There are people talking about wanting to be considered.
Wanting to be considered, but are they eligible to be considered? Who are we talking about? What are we talking about? I could see that we are called for once about bad-mindedness, that they might come up with 12 candidates just to be spoilers, because they would not be able to see. Look, Bowen is in like Drycon.
So there's
Bowen, Clarice. These are all typewriters. We
know in computers.
Yeah?
We know computer age.
Typewriters is not a cell phone. You must know when to give up and what you're fighting for. You've been there for 20-something years and you're still promising, but you want to rescue Grenada. How much time you want to rescue Grenada? How much? It's just ridiculous. Somebody must tell Diablo, behave yourself. And I'd like to see get a good political beating in the Northwest. And if that happens to him, then he'll know, pack up your clothes, live peacefully, go in Diamond and fool yourself away.
But sometimes that's a difficult thing to do, eh? When you've been defeated.
Yeah. Not only that.
Yeah.
He's had to teach old dogs new tricks.
Vibes FM. Caller, come in.
Good afternoon, Vibes FM.
Yes, good afternoon, yes.
Thanks for continuing to keep the culture alive.
Yeah.
I see that I was very much impressed with the representation from the youths, the way they delivered and the work that they are doing. Any party that have young people at heart, their future is bright. I want to say to them to continue to do what they're doing. And so many times you hear people talk about the project that is being delivered was in the pipeline. But if they're in the pipeline and you don't deliver, they're no use to us. The airport could have been in the pipeline. The SGU would have been in the pipeline. So it took somebody like Dick Mitchell and Andy and Kevin to bust the pipeline so we can have the projects. You're talking about spending so much thousands of dollars at the Maribor Abattoir, and it was left undone. I want to say congratulations to the government for continuing to do what they do and commissioning the abattoir so we can have a state-of-the-art building. And all of the buildings that they started under the previous government and NNP failed to complete it. I say to them, kudos and continue. You talk about the market in Grenville, you talk about the bus terminus, nothing was done there after they left. So I just want to say to these young people, thanks for having a big heart to continue these projects and forget about whoever say about what was in the pipeline, because that is what they were elected to do. Government is continuous, and if you're elected to serve, thousands of dollars were spent on this project. Let us finish them. And it is for the good of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitty-Martinique. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me take another caller. Gentlemen, hold a second. Caller, you're on now. Caller, come in.
Good afternoon, guys.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Kim,
Yes, go ahead.
the talk is on the ground. Pedro Maduro in St. Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is the talk on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember I said a couple of weeks ago,
Read it loud and
he
clear.
will never win in St. George's.
Yeah.
Well, the blue.
Mm-hmm. I've been hearing that too.
You're convinced now, yeah?
No, I've been hearing that. You're hearing things, but they didn't officially announce anything as yet. So, you know, you don't know who is going to be where and what the situation is going to be. But I've been hearing quite a number of conversations being taking place that he's not going to run in the town of St. George.
Nah.
Just
He might
like
go St. Andrews.
uh-huh.
St. Andrews. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think
And that's coming from the horse's mouth.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think by now the state of affairs is that boy can't go past River Road, you know. Yeah. River Road. The bushery, you want to get bushery, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Wow. So well, Leo?
Yes.
You could get some duty and some power and our back in the bush.
Something so. Not government of Dabo anymore. Even the gravel, even the gravel, they removed from Dabo.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing, Brother Leo, do you know right now? There's a lot of corners and roads getting expanded around Grenada, but we don't hear about it.
We need.
Yeah, well, that's true.
There is some corners now, which I know as well, getting walked in, but you don't hear about it in the news.
Yep.
They say
plenty.
They talk about money's been spent and so on, but one thing I could tell you, and there's no doubt in my mind that yes, quite a bit of money has been spent, but it's spent on the people and the country. Yes,
and you could see what's been
no.
See what's been done.
You know, for example, in Carriacou, when you look at Belle Road alone, I would say, well, there's overkill because Belle Road is a super highway, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is.
A lot of money is spent on that project. And this.
When last that road been walked on?
Belle?
1995, I think it was somewhere 94. 94. That was done in the time with the late Bradford, you know, Nicholas Bradford.
Well, that's
CCC with
yeah.
93, 94 thereabouts, yeah.
That's the perfect road. And you see, since that hospital that we have in Carriacou, you need, well, if you need to get in a hurry, not that you're going there for anything, but you need some good flow traffic there, you know what I mean? So
that road, the condition of the road, one, the size of the road, two. Because I remember one time I had a live, while I was doing a program here, there were two drivers, one coming up, one going down. And the road was narrow, and one decided they're moving on the side in the grass, in the drain for the other one to pass. So they stood up facing one another, head on.
Yeah.
And the driver of the bus ain't moving, the driver of the truck ain't moving. And the ambulance was stuck coming up, going to the airport because the flight was waiting on a patient. And the ambulance was in the back there making all the noise, the sirens going on. And the driver of the bus stood up there, he ain't moving. And the one with it was a 4x4 Toyota. He ain't moving either.
In the real world, they arresting to him, you know.
So I suggested to the police, the way they should have handled that was to arrest both of them.
Yeah. You can prevent an emergency.
An emergency,
an ambulance.
yes.
You can do that.
I never forget it.
That's why they have the siren and they get in preference. They could run the red light because you don't.
But anyway, right now, if they decide to stand up in the road facing one another, you could still flow on the other side. There's room for another lane. As a matter of fact, what they were looking for, it's almost like 3 lanes, you know.
Yeah.
The size of the road.
Yes.
And it's all lit up with all
solar
the
lights.
solar lights and everything like that. It's a nice, it's beautiful.
But Kim, that road wasn't pipeline since from 1995? Wasn't it pipeline?
The road was constructed back then. And over the years, the NP has never done any work on it. They have
So it wasn't in the pipeline.
In that pipeline? Well, we spoke about it many times, but I don't think it was in the pipeline. Or maybe it was in the pipeline and they just sent a pipe in it.
Oh, it clog up.
Yeah, clog up. Yeah, well, okay, that's another one.
But these fellas and them have no shame at all whatsoever. And you see this Carrico Hospital, I am saying that if the average Carricoan cannot see the service that is being meted out to us, how? I can understand.
But Uncle Leo.
Yes, sir.
Not only Carrico, Grenada too, you know.
You see, well, again, the mainland, as bad as it is, well, Carrico lead the league in that area. Where poor service. Not you might have
even the constituency of the South and even St. David's. Yes, some super saying Mr. Thompson will win St. David's, Mr. Diali will win the South. You wonder where they live in. But what would they campaign on? What would they tell the people?
We get nothing. We have nothing to worry about because we get nothing.
But you see, saying to the people that this person is going to win, and they know very well that it's almost impossible. It's one way of campaigning, building confidence in people, and when you start spreading those kind of things, people have a different view.
Well,
I tell you what.
Anyway,
but I call you sorry for cutting you. You know the same thing you spoke about the guy with the 1 foot. You hit the nail on the head because I tried to get his number to tell him he's going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we can solve the problem, but we don't have to make bacchanal and trouble and carry on and
No.
carry on. I mean,
I tried to get in touch with him to tell him this is not the way to do things. You know what I mean?
I know he has some genuine and real concerns. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know him quite well too, though.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, okay.
I know him well. Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to reach out to him as well. I might go still want to look for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, gentlemen, again before we go.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Anyway, take care, guys.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I think it's only prudent this year and probably into next year too. We have to deal with the people who are affected by burial and the aftermath of burial. But now that I think that we're in the build back stage, I hope Cool Hillsborough in particular don't continue to be the orphan that it's been for the last 30 years. You see, I look at that abattoir, what we have there?
Yes.
Well, these things are from the abattoir, the little piece where we have going down to the beach from me to call it, but including Miss some structure. I mean, there's the heart as you enter. This thing is so it's decrepit, and something must be done about those things, and we have to start advocating and mitigate. This, I'm hoping where we stand with this, what we call local government.
Local government? Well, it hasn't moved from being local. Still there. And no.
Well, we are going to do cause,
attention has been given. I mean, I remember we had a program. We had programs here talking about the issue of local government. I mean, I think we really should. We lapsing as far as I'm concerned. We're lapsing on that. It is a parliamentary thing, but I don't know why we can't really advance the process. I mean, as I said earlier, this is a case where we are going to start over. It's there.
My responsibility is yours,
Yeah.
Because you're the voice of reason. The ball is in your court. I give up. I'm willing to work with it.
I mean, we came from a position where we had a local government office all by itself, just for local government. The offices they're closed. Recently, I was passing and I saw the sign on the door, empty. So what are we doing then?
Local government, as far as I know, was all almost ready to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if because Beryl came in.
No, long before that.
He put on the back burner because they were supposed to have been implemented the last quarter in 2024.
Yeah.
Right. We say by September of 24, but maybe Beryl is responsible for the delay. But we had to get it back on the burner. I got to put it back. I got to put it back there.
Yeah, because it's not fair to the people of Carriacou this time and Petit Martin. Having the opportunity of being in the Constitution, enshrined there that there shall be, not when the people say it's already there. There shall be local government. So what?
56 years, 54 years ago?
74, 73, 74 independence.
To 25.
Yes, 74 and 26, and so 26 and 25. That is 41.
No, we celebrated the 50th anniversary now. Don't forget. And it was in the
it's in Constitution.
In the Constitution in 74. So we're into 51 years now. So put the maths together. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
what are we doing? I mean, we have to step up on that and call on our leaders to.
Local government could have your own grandchild now.
Great grand.
Gentlemen,
thank you.
Time for us to wrap it up. As always, Solio, your final words, as you wrap it up here.
Well, the struggle continues, and we can't let up now. Too old to turn back now, and we've gone too far. We must continue. Despite the headwinds, despite the hurdles, we have to continue because education is vitally necessary in this place.
Okay.
With the emergence of youth parliament, I think we need to, even the issues we just spoke about, the local government thing. The youth parliament, the youth has to now take this thing and run with it and ensure we just have to be there to be the guide and back up and so on. But I would like to see youth parliament, the youth, through this initiative that's taking place, take on this local government because they're the future. And local government is not about now, it's about the future. So
the views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.